Back, Shadowrun, Out of Nest on Edge. Mission 5 of London, which I think is like mission 18 total. 18, 19, somewhere around there. You've all heard what James Barton has to offer you, right? We've established the. What the fuck was it?
The reward?
Yeah, I'm just realizing I may not have done a very good job of taking notes again. Classic
have
me,
it.
eh? Okay, good. As long as somebody has it.
There's a
That's it.
sorry, go on. What would you?
The what we negotiated was to get 17,500 in front, 20,000 in
So how much in front?
17,500.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
20,000 in completion and 10,000 in merge tickets, other perks.
Kara, you are playing as Voin tonight, right? So we are ignoring Orchid. Okay. And so, West End Mike, you will receive the 17,500 basically instantly into your account that you had previously established with James Barton. I assume that you still operate under that account, yes?
If I didn't, I would have set up a new one anyway, so.
Okay. Oh, and just a quick thing. Other than Okami, do any of you have enemies?
Yes.
Wait, your new character has enemies and you didn't talk to me? Oh, no, wait, you did talk to
We
me.
did talk about
Sorry,
it.
yes, no, it's been a very long time. You're right. What is the incidence rating on your enemy?
Cage, what's yours? Mine's 3.
-2.
And I also have an enemy.
Shit, is this just everyone has an enemy in this team? What the fuck?
Well, I mean, I don't have an enemy in any of my other characters, so I figured I'd make one with one. So I have a combined, Cage and Bones have a combined 4.
And on Okami's character sheet, I don't see enemy listed.
You need the updated sheet because you haven't got the sheet where she ate someone yet.
And
That is correct.
Katya has an enemy with an incidence of 2.
Yeah, and Frax also has an enemy with an incidence of 2.
Help! We're being surrounded by enemies.
Okay.
Although the only person who knows about this enemy would be Ace. And Katya.
That doesn't matter. Andre, did you read the rules for enemy? Okay, it's a joke.
Yeah.
So this mission may have got a bit complicated due to so many. If this was Warhammer 40k, there would be a perfect adage here. You can never have too many enemies because the more you have, the better the odds are that they'll get in each other's way.
Well, I mean, it's only get as convoluted as you make it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, I know. It's just with how many hits I just rolled in private, pretty much this whole mission is just going to be dealing with your goddamn fucking enemies.
I mean, this is the first time that Cage and Bones have really done something super exciting. So it makes sense if it's like, hey, look, they're back.
Well, Frax
So I
kind of
think-
has no idea who his enemy is, so...
Then how'd you make them?
Let the GM do it.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. How do you make an enemy without knowing that you're making one?
He knew he was making an enemy. He just doesn't know the details of the enemy.
Ah, okay. So
Thrax does have a what is it called? An oracle told his. I don't want to say fortune. What's the other word?
Destiny?
Destiny. Yeah, I guess.
Fate?
Fate. Yeah. There was a word. I can't think of it. But yeah, Thrax knows the description of the one who will undo him, or whatever the technical phrasing was. And that's why he's prejudiced against women with religious tattoos. And Mike, you know, just depending on how this pool table roleplay goes, you might end up with Pirate and Whiskey as enemies.
Double might end up with enemies. Everyone gets enemies. Except for Voin, because she's perfect.
Sybil already has one.
I mean, I can imagine a couple of instances where Prodigy would get one.
Yeah, but as soon as soon as Prodigy tries to get an enemy, the enemy just looks down, just pats Prodigy at him, and then you try harder next time, kid, and just walk on his way.
And then he, like, hacks their cybernetic limbs and makes them punch themselves in the face a couple dozen times. And then he's like rooting through their wallets while he's doing this.
Who said this person had cybernetics?
Well, I mean, I did, because I'm making up the enemy.
I don't need to hack anything. I can just tell you to punch yourself in the face.
And then Athena can punch them for them.
As long as we don't put Athena in an elevator.
Although it's very unlikely that you will punch yourself.
Okay, I can't remember. I have this vague recollection that if there's too many enemies, then no, there's
They
no
cancel
mention
each
of
other
that.
out?
No, not that they cancel each other out. That you should only use the highest enemy and let the other enemies get deferred until later.
So, Goliath is going to come? Is that what you're telling me?
Was that the nickname we gave your enemy?
Gabriel Goliath Vendor.
As I recall, though, like his entire reason for being is to get revenge on you.
More or less.
So
That's the reason why he wanted to survive so much.
all right, and Thrax doesn't even know who his enemy is. So you know what? I think what I'm going to do here is just defer all those enemy points, and the next set of missions we're going to vote on are voting on the missions that will basically feature these enemies.
So the enemies are going to be present, but not necessarily the characters that these are enemies of may or may not be involved.
Oh no! If those get the winning votes, those player characters are kind of necessary.
And if you roll it a second time, and then they spawn twice, are you just like doubling their?
They spawn they spawn even bigger.
You're
I don't
increasing their
just-
connection basically.
Now I'm just picturing like you roll high enough, and now the enemies are just like stacked on each other's soldiers, and just this epic piggyback of
Is that
death.
the Power Rangers? No, it's all our enemies stacked together. No. You're just like, have a really tanky what is that right thing called? A really tanky from
Giant?
and taped to his left arm is like an elf with a machine gun. Taped to his right arm is a dwarf with a really large axe. Taped to his chest is a magician in like one of those hamster bubbles, and he's like constantly like casting a fireball at you. Sitting on the shoulder is the human who's like pointing me like, right there, that's the asshole. One of them at least. He's got like 10 spreadsheets of people who they're supposed to kill.
Okay, I'm suddenly thinking that this might have to become manifest. Thanks a lot, Twister.
Yeah, I'm thinking that all the enemies
think I've
team
done
up
enough
and kind of
damage
make an
to Guillermo.
anti-Avengers team.
Wait, did we just make the League of Doom?
That's what I'm thinking.
More like League of Inconvenience and possible murder.
All of a sudden, we just because of so much mutual hate directed toward this group, we just manifested Hydra into existence. Great, thanks everyone.
Well, I mean, every villain is lemons. That's the group we just spawned.
No, Mike, the thing you do is you basically just say, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And suddenly they're all like, "Oh, he's nice. I guess we won't kill them today."
He's
We
got
won't
a
kill that
bounty
one.
on his head.
And then Bones is very similar to us, then Mike, and is like, "Hey guys," and they're like, "He's kind of gotta kill him." It's slightly necessary for one of us.
We'll feel bad about that one afterward.
Yeah. We'll apologize 3 stab wounds in.
Ace just walks forward. I am not the ace you're looking for. You're not the ace we're looking for. Carry on, and he just runs away.
Well, that's not very effective. Oh,
Hey, get on the ground. You
yes, they have completed the task. They would just wait a minute. What's the guy?
Yeah, but you're long gone by that time, so you're okay.
Yeah, no. Like, command
Sort-
needs to be more clear, like, and you know, future-proof. Walk 20 miles east.
They end up at your house somehow. Wait, what?
What's this one, Frosty?
Something really stupid.
So why are you linking it during the session where I have to click on it, and how long is this thing that now I'm going to have to watch it?
Oh, if you click from the timed link that I sent, it's 1.5 minutes.
1.5? Oh, you want it skipped ahead to that point.
Well, because there's nothing at the first 1.5 minutes. Literally. It's horrible start. Only funny parts are the end.
When they start dancing. Fucking love King Vader.
What the fuck have you done, Frosty? Why do you
good
not
time.
want us to do the game and play the campaign?
It's not my fault.
It is your fault. You sent it.
It's the fault of somebody mentioning Power Rangers.
Oh shit, that's my bad then. I was literally imagining one of the last scenes, like all of the villains just dancing with like a console in the background. So I inadvertently made the connection that you were trying to make. Rip.
I know I haven't got you personalities to go yet, but how about just so that you have something to do, in character, why don't you all discuss some ideas of places you think some rowdy, uneducated, boisterous, physically adept individuals will want to go to relax before their big game.
Casino.
And someone will have to read for the players who are typing. Remember, I want you to discuss this in character, because we'll just say that, you know, someone started spitballing ideas before you all had a chance to actually review the player manifest yet. So do this in character. Someone read for the players who need to be read so that I can set myself aside and make sure I send this email to all of you so that you know what you're getting into.
Oh,
A
like
nice,
I've written, like I wrote
maybe
as A's. I said that bar is an obvious evening ender.
Okama would
what if
speak
we
of
went
casino.
to an indoor pool? An entertaining. Let me scroll back up.
So Cage leans over.
Is that
What
not
a-
an entertaining place to go? And
what?
Frax would actually very much. Yes, that is actually idea I also had. Also where they can get nice massages. Of pretty ladies or nice men.
I actually have to have get Cage's answer for that question first. Oh no. Okay.
So when you talked about that, Thrax, Okami's going to reply. So
It's
you
sorry,
wanna take-
Sorry, and if someone could make sure they read the players who are putting their messages in quotation marks and declaring which character it is that they're speaking for, please.
Oh
Ah,
yeah, I
okay.
thought it was just in character. Yeah, I speak. So, starting now, or do you want to scroll up and continue?
Okay, well, West End Mike, I think, was a joke, but I believe Darendelle was the first actual in-character message there.
Yeah, and I did read that out.
Oh, okay, sorry, I thought you were saying that as... you had the kind of accent that sounded a bit like Thrax.
Okay, well, and Durandal also says, so perhaps we could go to a brothel then.
Oh, asking Twister to read for Darendelle.
Okay, I'll shut up then.
It's actually our rating for Thrax, not Thrax, Cage. Sorry,
Oh.
I badly meant.
Well, actually, but I thought El Diablo would be good for Cage because El Diablo's got that husky voice, and Cage is a big fella.
You don't think I can make a husky voice?
Oh my god, that's adorable!
That's
trying
That's
my
like
best.
Muppets.
adorable.
Don't make fun of that.
I'm crying. Oh my god,
No.
I'm crying.
So perhaps to go to a brothel then? Want that? Oh god.
So,
You know
I have
what?
to
That
add-
is not a that's a character voice I had for like 3 years ago that I never actually made into a character. So I did not expect to actually have to use that for anything.
I have to ask this, Twister. Can you go a day without doing something adorable?
I mean, probably. It's shouldn't be too hard. It's just I didn't actually think that would be adorable.
I think it is statistically impossible for Twister not to do something adorable.
God damn it. I'm going to remind you all, I'm probably the top 4 largest people in this room, and probably the tallest. So, you
How
probably
tall
wouldn't
are
have
you?
the same perception that I'm an adorable individual if you met me in person. VT,
Oh, Twister, you are like, you're adorable on the internet. In real life, bitch, you hot.
God damn it. Durandal
How
said,
tall
so
are
what
you?
do you... Oh wait, no, that's El Diablo.
Yeah, so Durandal says, so what are you saying? You are a body pillow? Oh, that's OC.
That's... Twister is 6'2", not 6'5".
So Twister's the same height as me.
Oh god,
And
Durandal
me.
is asking Twister if Twister's a body pillow. This has me worried.
Okay. So, as to Dwindle's question about a pool and brothel, just like he's gonna comment. So, like a soap land, then. I don't know if those things exist here in London.
Well,
Mike, you would be able to tell that. Oh yeah, the baths. Those are a thing.
but yeah, potentially we can try them at different times. We don't need to go to a bath that is a brothel after all.
We also, in all seriousness, we do know the Hammersmith exists. Did any of you happen to look outside the bar area?
Katya very
I
obviously
did,
shakes her head.
says Frax.
Okama would say no, not her kind of place.
And Durandale says, a bath and a brothel. Sounds pretty unique. I'm assuming she means brothel, not brother.
What I wrote down was just out of character to give list. It doesn't look good yet.
So Cage leans down over towards Bones and whispers, "What's a brothel?" Bones leans up. Oh god, I have to find the voice. It's hard doing multiple voices in quick succession.
Welcome to the life of a GM.
A brothel is actually a place where you find women that you would like to do adult things with, Cage.
And then you pay them.
And you pay them for their time.
Yes, like sex, says Durandale.
So Bones snaps a finger and points towards Durandal when she makes her comment. So, drinking party? Cage replies. Bones just nods back, but then shakes his head. No, it involves... You pay them for sex, Cage. You pay them for sex, and that's what a brothel mainly is. There's drinks, and there's probably a little bit of partying, which is why we expect that the battle brawlers would enjoy that kind of activity.
But the question is, do we want to try and, handle as many battle ballers in that kind of situation?
Well, why don't we split up the teams? We could not have all of them there at the same time.
Yeah? That's a good
I think
suggestion.
Cage says, "Oh my gosh, just a second. Oh, that sounds like good for them, but I'd probably wait outside." That voice is puns on paper.
Well, we don't want to spend these money we don't want to spend money unnecessarily, so it will be good if you stay outside. I imagine if you want entertainment, you would have to pay for it yourself.
Yeah, that's pretty much the upfront we got. Pay the expenses.
I mean, and also, to be fair, we are going to have them for 10 hours, I believe Barton said. So we don't necessarily have to immediately jump into the deep end of things. I'm sure we could start out with something a little tamer and work our way up.
Oh, definitely.
Start
So,
Well,
a
also
bar? Asked Durandale.
I
A
was
bar
thinking
could
that
work.
bar could be a, night ender because do you really want to babysit a roided up drunks?
One thing we also need to get, we probably need to find a place where they can eat. I mean,
We're gonna have to make reservations for that.
yes, But yeah, everyone likes to eat, so we just have to find a good place to eat.
Well, that's the thing, though. We're gonna have them for 10 hours, so we're gonna have to figure out whether we're gonna have to think about this. Are we gonna schedule just one time to eat, or are we gonna schedule 2 times for them to eat?
Oh, and another suggestion. Maybe take them to a gym. Get them to pump some iron between meals.
It's a good
Well,
suggestion.
well,
Some
but
of them
is that not what they usually do for work? That does not sound
Yeah,
like
but some might
it's
find-
something you would do
know.
on your free day.
Yes, some of them might want to do that, though, because this is the night before a big game, right?
Or some might find it as an entertainment for themselves.
Violence
right.
is fun, says Durandal.
Yeah. We can... The little one speaks right. We can take them to such places, but we must make sure they don't take part in such games. Just there to watch and enjoy.
So
Yes,
Cage,
maybe
Cage
it's also
speaks
his
up.
idea if they go to a fight of some kind, so then they get to watch fight instead of having to fight themselves. It might be nice, nice change.
So Cage speaks up. I agree with the little one. And then he typed out, "Whoa, in sync with Bobo."
It's still in my stick. I've been calling her a little one longer than you have. Comes gonna speak up. Some of them may want to do, instead of games of physical strength and prowess, they may prefer more mental games or games of chance. So, anyone here know of a good casino? Gambling den?
Oh, dozens of all price ranges and quality levels. I mean, London basically has anything you can imagine, and quite a few things you probably shouldn't.
I personally do not want to go into a casino very much. I do not have the money to. I mean, already my life is risk for money, so I do not want to risk for money in entertainment place as well.
Yeah, but we must take into account that some of them may enjoy a good game of chance.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Katya would. Well, there's this game I've seen, but I don't know what it's called. It involves a ball that you throw at some white things that are standing up at the end of a lane.
Bowling.
Oh, I have interesting idea. Is there maybe place where they can shoot guns?
Before that, Cage says, "Yeah, also tight on money. Got bills to pay." Bones leans over and says, "They're giving us 20,000 new yen to start the job to make sure that we can
No,
get everything covered appropriately.
wrong way around. I mean,
They're giving us a little under 20,000 to make sure we can cover
it's not
everything
20.
appropriately.
20 is for completion.
A little under 20,000. Cage isn't the best with numbers sometimes.
Or we could take them to the zoo, says Durandal.
Well, I mean, how many of the animals will they want to fight? It's going to be a little bit of a slow day. I was thinking about maybe letting him watch one of their replays, splitting the team in half and having a skirmish.
Well, if they want to go to zoo, I would not mind taking them to zoo. I can actually tell them a lot of the animals, cause I think a lot I saw in wild and such. I can tell them stories about how I fought some of them.
I would not mind either, having been a hunter myself.
I think the zoo might oppose if you take them to, fight the animals.
Well, we can
Yes.
make it proposal, and if they do not like, then we don't do.
Also, we need to remember to keep them in a playable condition.
Yeah, that might be an issue with that skirmish idea. I don't know how much skirmishing they'll be able to do and not harm each other.
Also, yeah, one thing came to my mind as we don't know how much they're expecting to see, you know, Shadowrun. Kinda like,
Well, that's fair.
because, you know,
Well,
Burton
maybe
himself said that
even-
he wanted to hire actual runners, so. We don't know how he has sold this to the players.
Durandale says we could give them a taste of the Shadowrun life, as we're all Shadowrunners here. And Thrax would go, so kind of like a fake job.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but when I'm aside from the parts where I'm being shot at, my shadow running life is not very entertaining.
Pretty much the same here.
Well, there's a lot of not entertainment, but excitement between the shootings too.
Also, Cage has a comment. Twister, do you want to do this?
Sorry. So Cage comments in. I could take some of the violent ones and rent a fighting ring or something. Of course, I wouldn't let them kill each other.
We could
a little
also
more than
maybe
not
go,
killing
instead
themselves.
of them fighting each other, which they probably do in training, they could fight us.
Oh, now I don't quite know if that'll be a good idea.
Remember, we can't. It's they need to be fighting
Functional.
fit the next day. So that also means no broken bones or anything like that.
If you are a good fighter, you don't need to hurt them. I can, like in that last job we did, Mike, I did not kill anyone.
Yes, but you know, even if you don't kill anyone, they still need to be able to move.
Yeah.
That's very hard if you have a sprained muscles or, disjointed limbs. I mean,
I'm gonna
it
speak
is
up.
a one suggestion to think about. Don't get me wrong.
I was gonna speak up. So one of us here mentioned firearms earlier, correct? I have two options to that come to mind.
Yes, I did.
Clearly-
What is your
Clearly, we're not
idea?
gonna have them shoot each other, or shoot each other with at least real guns. So maybe take them to a gun range and let them just let off some steam just by taking the biggest compensating weapon they could find there and just unload down the range for a while. Or this is what would be the how would Airsoft have advanced this Shadowrun? Because she's gonna suggest the Shadowrun version of Airsoft.
And Durandale says, Stick and Shock?
To answer
Oh.
your question, I'm guessing VR. VR, you can actually get.
Sorry, there was a question about something.
How is paintball advanced?
Or Airsoft.
Airsoft, sure. My guess was VR. You actually have battle.
Okay, so there's all sorts of different options. If you're looking for something that's artificial, then yeah, there's VR. If you're looking for something that's still physical, but you physically run around, but you don't physically shoot anything, AR/laser tag. If you're looking for something where you run around and you physically shoot things at other people, there are bullets that are specifically designed to basically turn into mush when they hit a target, but they stick an RFID chip to their target. So it's kind of like paintball, but with jacketed, squishy bullets.
So it's a combination of Airsoft and paintball put together.
Yeah, but instead of just paint, it's actually a data RFID chip that will tell you you've been shot in the arm. You're no longer allowed to shoot your gun. You shot your gun despite being not allowed. 20 demerit points. Something like that.
Yeah, so we can take them to that as an option where they can take real guns but fire these safe bullets at each other. And as for Durandal Stick and Shock, not a medical expert, but I'm considering that most of these people will be cybered up pretty heavily. I don't think Stick and Shock would be good for them to get shot with.
While we've got VT's attention, what time are we supposed to actually get these guys?
Their curfew's 9:30, so 10 hours before 9:30.
So 11.
Yeah, 11:30. So
So
yeah,
we'll
we'll probably actually start out with some kind of lunch or something, and then move on from there.
Yeah, get into like a lunch or a brunch, and then end the night off with a nice dinner in a bar.
Another thought
Probably
I
be the-
had is if we need to burn up some time, nobody says we have to stay in London. There is more to England than London. Everybody knows that, right?
Out of character, the biggest thing you all have to remember is that all of these guys are sinless. So unless you want to go around getting a bunch of fake IDs for them, your options are limited.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Also, that brings, I think, a good point. How are we moving these guys around? I don't think we should, make them walk around.
We're gonna have to charter a bus. That's the only thing that we're gonna have to carry all of them at one time.
Okay, next logical question. Who can drive a bus?
The computers.
Yeah, any of you could, quote unquote, drive the bus by just sitting there and saying, bus, go there.
Yeah, we just program the destination and it automatically drives there.
The
I always
alternative,
forget there's a auto drive thingy.
the other alternative is we actually rent several smaller vehicles, which would make more sense if we're going to break them up at all. And of course, we do have the river running through here. I'm sure we can, if we did want to take them out past the Beltway, I'm sure we could find a boat that would be willing to not ask too many questions.
Besides various wilderness, though, I do not know much outside of London that would be interesting for people like this.
I do not know much about this area either.
If it,
Why is Durandal pointing at Ace?
I like the gun shooting airsoft plan the best, though, so far.
Oh, that one.
I mean,
There is 10 hours we need to.
we can also ask
Then-
them if they want anything.
Durandal
Of
brings
course.
up actually a decent point. We could charter a boat and just basically take them out into nature. I'm be willing to bet that most of these players, the most nature they've ever seen is the parks and fields of London itself. And if you
to
want
clarify,
excitement,
Durandal said, I've read that fishing wastes a lot of time.
and given some of the things that are out there, there's an all too real possibility of some excitement while we're out enjoying something that's not paved over.
But
The
also,
thing is, though, if
that
we
brings
take
a
a-
question: do they want to go out into the
Well, of
wilderness?
course.
And
Pretty much
also,
the-
do we want to take them into a place where there's the chance that something happens we can't control and some of them gets hurt because of the wilderness?
To your first point, of course, all of these are subject to their interest. So beyond that, we just simply have to prepare.
Yeah, we just gotta make a list of things in groundwork and throw those out as ideas of entertainment for these guys. Another option is that we can probably rent out a theater and just watch a bunch of vids. Like, What's big going on right now?
Oh, I know, good fit. It is Dan the Orc Barbarian, and it is him against the Fire Sorcerers of Serpents. It's amazing movie.
Isn't that just glorified softcore pornography?
Wait a minute, was that
It
in or
is
out of
glorious
character?
orcish,
That was
orcish
both.
cultural peace.
Have 18.
Yes?
Sorry to bother, but could Ace roll news to see if there are any, city events?
Absolutely, absolutely. The election is kind of the big deal. That's coming up shortly. But yes, I know. But you can make a roll to see about fun things going on in the city. Absolutely. Additionally, you could also roll news for something else. Or, like anybody, like, nobody has sports in this group, eh?
Katya,
Damn.
not much of a sports person.
Well, yeah, I know. I just between Thrax and Cage, I would have figured one of those two would have been a sports junkie, but oh well. So with 3 hits, Ace, you'll have, there's arts and culture galore. I mean, this is London, but there's also festivals, like food trucks and street vendors, family fun. If you read the news, you're going to hear about the kind of events where people with sins go. Does anyone want to roll Underworld for ideas of fun things to do that isn't necessarily legal?
I have Shadow Community. Would that work?
And someone might want to read for Darendelle. And Shadow Community is more about the people. But you could also roll that to see if you know somebody who might be able to tell you. But Shadow Community for Bones, that would most likely be from his... Like, where's Bones from? Spain?
Yeah, he's born in Spain.
And is that where he's done most of his work?
As a Shadowrunner, no. He's a Shadowrunner. He did it in the Middle East and then slowly worked his way north. So I guess Germany is the farthest north he was before
Right,
just
so-
moving to England.
So Shadow Community, in that case, you'd basically know people who know people kind of thing. Like, it's not the same as a contact, but it's... Well, this person's name, I remember that person, so maybe we could reach out to them kind of thing, like Shadow Community being the word emphasized.
Oh, did you mean roll underworld knowledge or roll news underworld specific?
Wait, do you have news for the underworld?
Yes?
Oh, well then add another 2 dice for your events news and see what happens there.
And all I can think of with Frax is maybe roll survival for good hunting spots around in the outside London wilderness, but otherwise I have nothing.
Hunting, not really an option. Not unless you want to go like into the Lambeth containment zone and hunt paracritters, or go into the nastier parts of the underground and hunt ghouls.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, we
then
don't
Or
Frax,
Zunukwa, that's what they are.
yeah, well then Frax doesn't have really anything for skill-wise.
Who is reading for Darendelle again?
I don't know, but I
I'll do
can.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
This may be a poor suggestion, but we have a fairly large team of fighters. We could very well do a job quickly and make use of an army of muscle.
Risky. Maybe possible, but risky.
It's possible, but the fact is that we still have the parameters of this job being they have to be able to compete in a match the next day.
Also,
take
there
them on
is, like, we often get involved with police And I do not think we want these people to possibly get arrested by police.
Also,
Okay.
if any of them get seen, it's likely they will be recognized due to their player status.
Yeah.
So it's very risky.
Quick out of character question: does anyone here know much about soccer?
Limited,
Small amount.
OC or IC?
In real life, football, out of character.
Very small
Not
amount.
much.
What
Why?
do you need
What's
to
up?
know?
Okay, I know the striker is the one who like tries to get the ball from one end to the other. They're the ones who really nail the ball. Who's the one that basically does the tricks with the ball just to kind of deke out the opponents? Carrier?
Does that mean there was
Oh,
the
the
one that
aces.
moves the ball forward?
Not just moves the ball forward, but does so in a showy way, like the kind of way where, you know, the one who will psych out the opponents so that they think they're going to go to the left, but they really go to the right.
I don't think they have an actual.
That's not a specific role in a soccer team, as I meant. You have in Dutch we call it the spits, which is kind of the what you said. They are supposed to get the ball forward, and generally they use the trickery to get to basically like outpsych the opponent. There is the center, who also do a little bit of that, and then there's the defenders, who are mostly there to stop ball from getting to the other side, and then of course there's the goalie.
Yeah, and there's also there's pretty much the people who guard and keep the active in the midfields on both sides.
But all I'm looking for is a term to use specifically for Pringle Brisk, because
A forward.
Showboarder?
There's also the position called the sweeper and the
closest-
stopper.
The
specific.
closest role is the forward, and that is the
Yes,
name
no,
of the role.
but sure, no, but I'm looking for the descriptor. Like I have a blitz striker, I have an evasive striker,
Ace.
ace,
Ace or technical, or just a
Tactical?
tactical player.
tactical could work. No,
captain.
definitely.
Technical.
This is definitely not
not
the
the
team
captain.
leader. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is not the captain. This is the person who, when they get the ball, they piss everyone else off because the ball just doesn't go where they expect it to.
They
Specialist.
showboat a little bit.
A trick shooter?
I'll go with
Showboater.
trickster maybe.
Yeah, trick player, I think
Okay.
would be trick player or technical player.
A trick fielder?
Technical probably actually. We'll go with technical because that sounds less. It sounds more official.
I don't think it's a village bicycle. Toronto.
Sorry, what? Where did the village bicycle get involved?
Akara was giving us suggestions. Team leader, specialist, village
Oh.
bicycle.
Oh, you. Well, I don't know. Is Brisk? Brisk looks like he could be
It'd be the playmaker,
playmaker.
attacking midfielder / playmaker. The playmaker occupies the same position as an attacking midfielder, but performs a different role. The guy is considered the brain of the team, the most skilled player who orchestrates.
No. Then no, definitely not.
No.
That would probably be Finlay or Walkstead. One of those two would probably be the playmaker. But sorry, I interrupted all of you. Please continue on with your roleplay. Don't all speak at once this time. God.
No, but we have to get back to where we were before this. So,
Well, and of course, we could hook them up with drugs or BTLs if they're into that, and that should actually would make some of them quite easy to manage for the 10 hours because we just keep them stoned for that length of time.
Problem is then the fallout of that and the after effects of them coming off of that for the game tomorrow or the next day.
Also, for the BTL thingy, don't you need like a special chip in your head for that?
Out of character, any of you who have technical knowledge know about trodes.
Yeah.
Now,
Sorry,
a set
no,
of
about
But
electrodes
Frax
and
does not have technical knowledge, so that question remains.
a set of electrodes and a modified sim unit will be adequate for BTL usage.
Okay, and if you look at Frax, it's obviously that he doesn't get to understand the fuck of what you just said, but he accepts it.
Nothing that needs to be implanted.
And Katya still also does not understand.
This is gonna. Okami's gonna speak up. This is a really bad idea, but how many of us here can walk on the astral?
Katya raises a hand.
With some help, yes.
But what do you mean by walking the astral?
Okay, so did you build him as a magician or a mystic adept?
Magician.
Good, then you can do that.
What's it mean to do that though?
You leave your body and you project in the astral.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Is that what kind of roll would I be making to do that?
None.
You don't. You literally just drop your soul from your body.
Oh, so, and then if I need to, it'd be like astral combat. I'm guessing.
If you're
Fight.
fighting something, yeah.
I've got a 0 in that, so don't make me do that, please.
Well,
Yeah,
no, you
no,
don't. You don't have to fight.
Oh, I
You
know.
can. Okay.
Yeah, Okami speaks of. I know this is like I said. She's spoken of bad. She says this is a bad idea, and she's just seen who can astrally walk that's present right now.
I think my dear Demos, he can see and constantly see and hear from astral, and I can see and hear from his eyes and ears, but otherwise I cannot go to astral to the planes of the gods.
Why do you
Katya-
ask?
Okay. There's certain drugs people can take that allow them to, even if they are not magical in nature, to allow themselves to project from their bodies and walk along the astral.
I wouldn't suggest that.
I said it was a bad idea, but I was just putting the idea out there.
I still really like that airsoft mock combat type of idea.
Well,
By the
there's
way, I
another
would totally
issue.
own all of you in that.
Yeah, there's another issue with that plan. Shade's about $1,000 new yen a dose, and there's over 30 players in this team, so that would get expensive quick.
Well, she
Yep.
doesn't know the street value of the drug, she just knows of it.
Well, Mike does.
Yeah. So is Mike putting that up in character?
Yes, that was all in character. It was that he mentions in character that would get very expensive very quick.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was unaware of actually the value of it. But
Also,
thank you for...
Ace knows the value.
Hey kids, if we get in a more combat thing with the air pistols, we go in same team and then we kick all of these guys' asses.
I'd like to note that Cage frowns at the mention of drugs, and continues to frown while the conversation is being had about the cost, etc.
Technically not drugs.
Oh yeah, Shade is not actually a drug as such. It is a magical compound, and as beyond forcing you to astrally, it has no side effects.
Well, except, little weird feeling afterwards.
And Durandal says, I would like to enjoy more combat.
Okay.
I
And
mean,
then
We
Cage
see if
says,
they are okay with it.
and Cage
if
says,
they're okay...
if
Although
they have,
we probably need to book the event up front. But I think we all are sold on that idea.
And then Cage would. Mister, go ahead.
And then Cage says, "If they have big guns, I'd love to play."
That was my thinking as well for the mock combat. It's just that after the lunch or the brunch, whatever we treat them to, we do that, and that should get out all their aggression and more violent tendencies out up front, so they'll much be mellow and chill for the rest of the night, hopefully.
I would flip them.
We wouldn't want to end with that then.
No, but have you ever done a physical activity after eating? Especially when there's, these are physical players. They're probably going to eat.
That's a good
If
point.
not a lot. at
So we
least
open with that then,
hefty.
and then we treat them to food.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want them to get sick or,
Go ahead, Mister.
So Cage responds with, "We could give Whiskey a cut and rent out her bar if that's possible."
That's a good idea for a ending of the evening.
We would just have to make sure certain facilities aren't open to them, though, from what I understood of that location.
Which facilities are you referring to?
If I recall correctly, from what I could at least tell from the places, certain places in there where, well, drug dens.
And
Couple
Durandale
of
says
BTLs in there
there
as
seem-
well.
Sorry. And Durandale says there seems to be a lot of things to do at that bar.
But not everything in that bar will allow them to maybe play at their fullest for the next day. That's what we gotta keep an eye on.
Well, I think if they're a little bit off, that's not too bad. That's their own fault, but
Yeah,
They
a,
can
a
play.
mild hangover shouldn't be a major issue, particularly given what Barton said about them popping combat stems right on the field.
yeah.
Yeah, but this is night before a big game. They might go a bit overboard.
Oh, also
Yeah, we
true.
need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make
you'd
sure
have
that
to-
they don't do that. But if they're,
we would
hungover
definitely
next
need to
day,
moderate their intake of anything like that.
Yeah, but still, idea to at least get a complete. Again, what I just voiced is stuff that at least I understand from what I could see. We may want to get a layout of everything that Bog can puts on the table and just figure out beforehand what is no go and what is okay.
Go ahead, Mister.
So Cage goes, "You could convince them to party hard after they win.
I think they don't need convincing
Like,
for that.
give them a little direction." Cage, Bones would say, I don't know how that would fill our 10 hours that we're being paid for. Although that might be a good idea for afterwards for them, but
And a little bit ago, Durandale would say there seems to be a lot of things to do at that bar.
Oh yes, there are definitely a lot of things to do. I'm not sure that some of you would be interested in all the things available at that bar. Mike's obviously looking at Okami.
Okami's gonna say offhandedly as a joke. Does anyone happen to know if that bar has a brochure of everything they offer?
It didn't look that. I
Mike
kind of
reaches
an
into a pocket.
establishment.
Yeah, it was more of like an off-the-cuff like joke.
Yeah,
About-
and Mike reaches into his pocket because he and Sybil actually did get a reference list of what all you could do at the Hammersmith.
Oh, so you actually
Durandale
did get a
says I
brochure.
could go whiskey.
Whiskey? You've mentioned it. Which one was whiskey?
The large troll woman who is running the bar half of the time and playing with the chainsaw the other half of the time.
Oh, the one who seemed to be the sister of the little redhead. Yeah.
You seem like entertaining folk enough.
Pirate. You have probably met Pirate, haven't you?
Yeah.
Durandale says, yes, she is her sister. They are similar.
I love it. I love that someone else is trying to do a voice other than me. I really appreciate it.
I tried to do
at,
a voice with. Oh, go ahead.
So at this moment, it looks like we are somewhat set upon the ideas of the quote-unquote airsoft, taking them to dinner and a bar.
And
Yeah.
possibly taking them out to nature. If
Or-
they wish.
I guessing what it sounds like is we have for sure the main activity, which would be the airsoft. And I'm saying this out of character, by the way, just so we can help plan this out. So it's airsoft for sure. Then we treat them to a brunch or a lunch. Then we do whatever activities we have planned, and then we finish the night off at the Hammersmith.
Yeah, and then get them to.
Back to their thing. But again, how active is the Hammersmith? Because remember, they gotta be back by 9:30, so we gotta be getting to that bar about 7 to 8. Then get them back into the wherever they reside, like the hotel or whatever it is.
Well, I'm sure that some of those events we could arrange for them to be held early, just by calling ahead, so to speak.
Well,
I mean,
no, making
obviously the people won't show up, but employees would.
Yeah, I mean like reservations and stuff like that. But it's just like it. Considering the Hammersmith, I'm not 100% sure if their active hours, a lot of their portfolio would be active at that early in the evening.
It's opened at 12.
Because
Although, remember, they opened at noon.
yeah, but not everything that I'm pretty sure the Hammersmith offers, they're gonna have like prepped and ready for by noon. I'm pretty sure it's
No, but we're not going there at noon. So getting them, do it in the evening is probably doable.
yeah. I'm just saying like maybe certain shows and stuff don't start at like 7 o'clock at night.
Well, like I said, if we decide to do that, I'm sure arrangements can be made.
We're gonna have to be doing a lot of reservation making here. It's pretty clear.
At the same time, we have at least two fantastic faces here, and he's gonna put his hands on the back of Mike and Ace, and then lean in himself and say, and they have a little support. It shouldn't be too hard to make some exceptions for us if we absolutely need them to be made. He's actually also a face at a character.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
just he just didn't he wouldn't be playing his own face if he's making everyone else's face that much better.
Yeah, and as for Okami, she's gonna put it, Mike. He's better, I would say, at this, at least off the bat, because I'm not a fan of facial hair. She points to the other two.
Oh, I guess everyone has preferences.
But yeah, so I guess then is so I guess what we need to work on now is that since we have the airsoft, then the food, we need to plan out the activities we're going to be reserving for the middle area before we return to the Hammersmith.
Well, that'll probably be easier once we have the data files in front of us.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm almost done. Almost there.
So it seems as though I'm
Set
Yeah,
the
Actually,
you're
I
rules
still
think-
to the
running out of
actress.
steam.
Yeah, okay, so I guess general concept then it is we take them out to nature, brothel, gym, casino, Probably like a UFC arena or something like that. Or some kind of boxing matches. Maybe legal ones, maybe Bloodsport.
Well, we probably need to go for underground one because they still don't have sense. And if it's a legal boxing match, you probably
That's a good point. It would
Scan.
probably be more like professional street fighting.
But then, if we do that, then if we need to be careful that they don't, join.
Join. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure several of those places would probably have rules against that, simply so that they don't end up with some kind of ringer.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
these guys are roided up. Do you think they will think of too much rules when they're
It depends on
quote-unquote having
how
fun?
vigorously they enforce their rules. If the
Yeah.
rules enforcement is by several obviously heavily augmented trolls, maybe.
Yeah. I'm also thinking that some of those places might do it as just a way to help bring the audience in a bit, is audience participation, just like, and for tonight's contest,
Yeah,
who's
that
ever...
we need to avoid.
Yeah, that's when we need to make sure that we don't pulls off those special audience participation contests. We have to research that beforehand to make sure that the place we're taken to doesn't do those kinds of things. Like, whoever beats our champion wins 1,000 new yen. Come on! Oh, no, wait. Sorry. Last 3 minutes in the ring with our champion.
I would
All
do
comers
that.
welcome.
I would do that.
We could definitely let Cage take that spot if we need to.
And
Although,
Durandal's just... We could also take him shopping.
But they would expect us probably to pay for that or put the pocket up for that.
Well, it still might work. There's a character blanking on the name of it, but there's a famous street market actually in the shadow of the Westway in Westway. Trust me, nobody there is going to care about sins. We might need to keep them alive, but nobody will care about sins, and you can haggle all you want on the prices.
That could be an option then, shopping. Buy them some nice souvenirs or trinkets. We'll give them the chance to buy those
we
things.
should think about the possibility we need to, like mentioned earlier, split the group because it might be that not everybody is interested in everything.
Of course,
Yeah.
and
And
it might make the group
it
more
makes them
manageable
more
as well.
workable.
Yeah, but I think we're all in agreement here that once we get to the events aspect of our plan, we're probably going to be splitting up, right?
Probably.
So we're going to have to decide then exactly how do we wish to split up. Does one of us take 4 apiece with them? Or do we double up and have 2 for every 8?
How many of you have vehicles?
2. I definitely suggest 2.
Well, again,
Okay.
how many people here have a vehicle that they can actually drive here in London?
I can rent
Ace,
one.
technically.
Katya just watches everybody else and shakes her head.
Oh,
Yeah,
Kami's gonna
so we need to rent vehicles no matter how many we're splitting them up into.
Yeah, Okami immediately speaks up. I can easily rent a vehicle myself.
I do not. It is actually kind of a problem for me.
I'm sitting on. Kami's gonna speak up. I'm sitting on some money. I can, if people are willing to pay me back on this, I'm willing to
But
pony
we
up
did
some
get
of the.
the 10,000 upfront, which is meant to.
I don't
cover.
think 10,000 is gonna be enough to cover renting a small fleet of vehicles.
It's 17 and a half, and it really does depend. And of
Yeah.
course, if we decide to go with a large enough number of vehicles, Mike would be willing to use his own SUV, his vehicle, which would obviously save.
Well, yeah. If it's 2 apiece, though, that means we're gonna need a minimum of 3 vehicles plus yours. That's 4 in total.
Huh?
Like, how many of us?
You do remember that this team is like 30, 35 players, right?
Yep.
But it's
It's-
2 for 8. That's what I'm saying. So we need Well, I'm saying for like vehicle-wise, we can get like a van.
If we all stick together, we can definitely get a van.
Bus.
Yeah,
But-
bus.
Yeah, we need a bus if we're all sticking together. But once it gets to the event night, we're probably gonna be splitting up, which then means we're gonna need either take the bus and then drop people off and then come back, pick them up to head back to the Hammersmith, or we all take our own individual vehicles as the groups, which means that we're gonna be splitting up. If it's 2 and 8, if it's 2 Shadowruns for every 8 players, that's gonna be 4 vehicles that we need.
Cat is definitely going to speak up. I can't drive, so I'll have to ride with somebody.
For our purposes, the built-in autopilots will probably be sufficient. Half of the time, that's how I do my driving. And Mike would make air quotes when he says driving.
He shrugs.
At least you can drive if something goes wrong, right?
Oh yes, yes. My my vehicle is definitely not stock.
Oh.
I have ridden a bunch of goats in the mountains.
Well, that's not a car, I'm afraid. But
I do
that
a
is
lot of
something.
running.
I like how none of you ask what kind of riding he did on these goats.
Well, seeing what people
gonna
wore in the
beat you.
bar, I think it's safe to assume.
Hopefully he didn't just ride those goats up to a fence so they stopped moving.
That's really inappropriate. Yeah. The vehicle will have an autopilot, most likely. It's. They don't expect us to hire a driver. I don't believe. So we should be good on that end.
Oh, and here we go. It's the Portobello Road Street Market, directly under the Westway roadway, where one can buy almost anything for the most surprising prices. It is very strongly recommended that any visitors to the market be professionally escorted.
Can you professionally pay for that?
I'm pretty sure they're probably, and this is out of, I'm saying this out of care. I'm pretty sure there's probably gangs or organizations there who work at the market who offer up security services for people
Oh
interested
no,
in traveling.
the actual quote, they literally meant professionally, because the very next thing is a quote, an in-character quote that says that I read somewhere that some travel insurance companies are now refusing to honor claims for incidents occurring during visits to Westway, even with an armed escort. And then the next reply is, the insurance you need to go to Westway these days is the sort comes in exchange for 500 sovs in a plain brown envelope to a man called Jerry in the bogs of a pub in Kilburn.
So yeah, it's pretty much if you want actual security that makes sure nothing happens, you're probably gonna have to hire someone local.
Well, the problem
That
is...
sounds like a black market.
Oh, well, the problem is you cross through so many different territories to get there that you really can't. The market itself is fairly well policed, thankfully. The 2 gangs whose territory it lies in have financial reasons to keep it down to a dull roar. But on your way to and from, Westway's rough.
I'm pretty sure there might be some kind of neutral party there to provide that and then gives all those gangs a cut.
Not as far as I've been able to tell, but...
Sorry, just quick, is that from the London source book?
Yep.
Bear in mind, that's 2050. We are 26 years in the future from when that book was published.
And Westway is still just as bad as it's always been, according to, what is it, conspiracy theories, which is, like, almost up to date.
Oh, if you have a page number, I'd really appreciate being able to check that out.
Give me a moment.
Bonka. And I just realized that totally threw me off of where I was on my thingamaboober. Shit. Whoops.
But yeah, still though, that 26 years means that maybe a neutral party has come into power.
Well,
And
or we have armed Shadowrunners to protect them.
Well, yeah.
Remember, most of the gangs around here are armed with, like, knives and axes.
Yeah. The thing is, though, here's the thing, though. If we're gonna go to that market, we're gonna go there all together, because that's 8 Shadowrunners and 35 Battle Ball players going there as one big group. That's gonna be really hard to hit. Oh, Shakedown.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the market itself, you'll get petty crime, but the two gangs that actually run, whose territory the market is, keep things relatively quiet. But it's the real threat is on the way there and back. You have to go through the rest of Westway, which is not so great.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. On the to and from, 35 Battle Ball players and being in a considering how cybered up they are, plus 8 Shadowrunners, that's gonna be a hard thing to hit or shake down.
Yeah, if they come near me, I beat them up, make them kneel, and then make them my slaves.
Wait, what? What was that last part?
I beat them up, make them kneel, then make them my slaves.
We're gonna talk about the last part at a later date, but we have other things to worry about right now.
Yeah, I know. It is a bit of a joke. I know in London modern time that is not allowed anymore. But that's how they did it in old tales.
Actually, Okami's gonna speak up. Well, even in modern time, if you have enough money and influence, that's still a thing. But again, we're getting off focus here of our.
Yeah, or if you are fur south from the Islamist states, it's pretty bad there.
But so again though, back to the topic at hand. So if we do go shopping, we go though in mass in force, correct? We don't break up and do that separately with 8 players and 2 runners, right? All 8 of us and all the players at one time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's gonna be. I guess Okami's gonna speak up. So some of you seem to be local. Do you guys think of any of those little mock battle locations that will be able to take in some sinless people officially, or if we can slip them some money to let some sinless people in unofficially?
As a matter of fact, I'm can think of several places that might fit the bill.
Okay, that's good. You think you can arrange the reservation there then?
I'm sure I could.
Okay. Because I mean, seriously, if it's 8 of us and 35 players, that's gonna take up the entire course for our time there.
Of course, but we of course, would also then be paying for 30 plus players, and that much money makes people amicable.
Yeah, you're renting the whole entire place for a period of time, so you're gonna get a good deal on that. So yeah, so that's way.
I saw how Mike talks. I think he can get a good deal out of anything.
Yeah. Second is of what kind of quality of food are we gonna give them when we take them out to eat? Something that they're used to, or do we treat them to something a little bit nicer and finer?
Well, we have to see how this all pans out. Well,
I would not maybe do too spicy. It might give them shits.
And I don't think they're gonna like any of the cuisine from my homeland. More likely, something local and English would be best.
Though I hear English are not known for good food.
Mike raises a figure. Hey, that's actually pretty accurate.
And Yukami's gonna speak up. Well, considering the other stereotypes, you actually seem to have a good pair of teeth on you. Sorry, not good pair, good set of teeth on you.
Yes,
Well-
very nice smile.
Well, let's be honest. A city this size is now, a world city anyway. I can get you any food from any place or time period you care, and probably in more than one place.
I guess we'll just when we get to before, we'll kind of guess where we want to take them at that point. Because again, it's 35 players plus us. We're gonna have to make a reservation. We can't just be walking in like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
But we probably want to treat at least to some higher quality stuff, if not necessarily a fancy restaurant. We probably don't just want to swing by fast food.
well, unless they Want
Want
fast
to.
food?
Well, of course. At the end of the day, we're there to make sure they have a good time. So whatever they want, they get within, that whole restriction of 9:30 and make sure they're playable.
I'm back.
So thinking
And what
of
if
that,
they
we're
want
talking about,
you, Durandal says. To which Frack would reply, well, maybe if the is good looking.
So what was thinking? What aiming for middle or high here then? When it comes to the quality,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll all pretty much agree along the main point of no luxury here, right? We're not going for luxury quality.
I
No.
don't think they're expecting.
No, because then you have to dress everyone up in suits and everything, and they get racist and such there. So
And also, again, the lack of sins gets in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't ride the bus without a sin.
Yeah, but maybe we might be able to take them to a place where at least some of the food's not soy based. Probably be better than they're used
Exactly.
to. Again,
Ain't
comments
nothing wrong with wearing a suit.
Yeah, Okama's gonna speak up. I'm guessing that's gonna mean that we can probably find them a nice place that actually serves proper tea then.
or I know also places that do a good Turkish coffee. Turkish coffee is great.
Kaja speaks up. Maybe real milk or cream?
Out of character, I think even real milk and cream is like a luxury good in Shadowrun.
No, actually, real milk by this time has come down to something that somebody at a high lifestyle can definitely afford, and even middle lifestyle sometimes. That's one of the things. By this point, a lot of that environmental destruction has actually been at least partially turned around.
Okay.
Mainly due to genetically engineered animals. Like they basically now have cows that are the size of like a dog, but they can still milk it. So,
So
Gen-
dog
genetic-
cow milk?
well, no, it's just miniaturized cows, so you can put a lot of them in one space. But they've been genetically modified to produce maximum milkage, basically. Stuff like that.
Wow. I wonder how the GMO people feel about that. Like
They don't get to say a goddamn thing anymore.
They're probably all dead.
Well, the environment's so destroyed that most non-GMO crops just won't grow anymore.
It was a necessity. Like the corporations had to do this to make sure there was enough food to feed the people of Earth.
And they still don't do that good a job of it.
Yeah. Well, it's again corporations. It's a pocketbook. But yeah, so
Yeah, abundance is never profitable. Scarcity is profitable.
okay, the back in character then, and Okama will speak of if you're willing to pay for that yourself, then maybe we can find something like that. So Okama is going to be turning to Mike. Considering that you seem to be the most knowledgeable person here and you seem to be the most local, I'm going to guess you'll be taking the head on this then.
Yep.
Not the head, taking the lead on this.
Yes, I would imagine that would be. Let me put it like this: they don't call me West End Mike for nothing.
Yeah. So if you need if you have any questions, anything you need to ask any of us, I'm pretty sure we'll all be open to provide you with whatever assistance you need because we all wish to be paid on this.
Of course. Oh, and a private message goes out to Katya. If you want real milk, I know a number of places to get it for a not insane amount of money.
Bear in mind, this is also the English Isles. So Russia, you'd probably be able to get milk a little more easily than you would in the English Isles.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it's sheep
it's
milk.
definitely going to be a luxury item for a Shadowrunner, but it's a obtainable luxury item.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to specify that Katya could have been having milk while in Russia and being shocked that milk is so much more difficult to obtain in England.
Well, it depends. Is
And-
she talking about cow milk or sheep milk? Because I'm pretty sure it'd be easy to get sheep milk in London.
You didn't hear about what the dragon did to the sheep in Wales, did you?
So Wales has completely lost its main source of produce.
No. Well, I mean, it definitely took a hit, but a dragon woke up in Wales and said, "Mine now."
Oh, so Wales now completely belongs to a dragon now. Okay.
Well, a large portion of Wales, yes. It's called the
Okay.
Dragonlands or something like that.
He said, "I
Well-
can either eat the goats or eat you, or eat the sheep or eat you." And they said, "You can have the sheep."
Okay, now I need someone to tend to the sheep. Oh, I eat you. We'll tend to the sheep. Good.
But yeah, real quick, do you want this to be in order of name alphabetically, player number, or player rating? How would you like this sorted?
What do you mean by player rating? Like how good of a player they are? Or their
Yeah,
rating
like
on the team?
rating with it out of 50, how they compare to the rest of the league.
I think rating or alphabetical would be best.
Yeah, I'll got to go with alphabetical.
Mm-hmm. Also, Kara, I don't think just saying yes helps here.
I know I personally would vote that we do them alphabetically, because it's kind of mean to, I can't remember the word I'm looking for, honestly, but I'll have to say it's kind of mean to segregate them based on their ability. Even if it is only on paper.
There's also their jersey number that we could sort by.
That works as well. I'm still kind of partial for alphabetical. It's easy to remember that way.
And I don't think they're going to be wearing their jerseys on this trip.
I mean, it would help.
AR, like if you have AR.
Also, Durandal said, "We also cannot fail in this. Mother would not be pleased if I am not successful."
So, in other words, you're not interested in taking the much larger, much better paying bounty on this job.
Out of character, we
Not
haven't
dropped yet.
got to that yet.
Yeah, it's
You're not
later.
interested in something that we don't even know about. I can understand that because I also don't know about it.
Now you turn
First
into
time.
like Foghole Lancourt or Colonel Sanders.
You know what? I don't know I'm going with that one. It's the first attempt on stream. Just let me figure it out, okay? Okay.
Turn into a you slowly turn into a southern gentleman.
Good day, dear. How are you doing today? I'd just like to tell you that you look like the morning sun. You're hot. You make me want to take off some clothing. And I sweat a lot too. I just don't know how that fits in there.
I might need to take you as
That
my
is-
tutor for that accent there, Twister.
Sorry?
I might need to take you as my tutor for that accent there, Twister, because I might have a plan for a southern gentleman type character in the future.
Well, I don't quite know if this is good accent, but I'll go down and be your tutor if I need to be a tutor.
It's decent.
Pretty
It's pretty
decent.
good.
Pretty
Yeah,
decent.
pretty decent.
Thank you. Back on topic though. What is Durandal saying?
Those are out of character.
Yeah, mother would not be pleased.
Oh yeah, sorry, out of character. Everyone wants this mission completed, regardless of for who.
Yeah. And comments like we all want to get this thing because we all wish to get paid. Because that's our main focus is being those in our profession. Stay alive and get paid. Can't really spend your wealth if you're dead.
Damn straight.
And
Mike resists the urge to run over there and like kiss Okami.
and
Well, that depends on your afterlife, if you can spend your gold there.
Katya is seen visibly trying to fiddle with her calmly. And Mike eventually gets a text back, but do you know someplace where I can get real meat?
If you got enough money for it.
I like to point out, before I step away for a second, that if before we agree to like start doing anything, I would like to actually roll to give increased charisma to both West End Mike and Ace.
Didn't West End Mike? Didn't you already give it to West End Mike?
Was this in the same time period?
Pretty much. You guys are like he left. He sent you the files, but technically it took me longer to actually compile the file. So it could just be that Mike got the file and it's like, well, this is encrypted. Okay, excuse me a minute while I have somebody I know decrypt this, and basically sends it to Sybil.
So
Some excuse.
so this isn't happening tonight, is it?
No, it's all happening at the same time as soon as you had the meeting.
Let me
But we
rephrase
have
that.
like a couple of days before we pick
Yes.
these.
It's kids. Fuck kids. Wow. Some of these people are older than your characters. But just look at the calendar up here. You are on. Whoops. Shit.
24th.
What? No. Oh, yeah, shit. I left that there, didn't I? I should fix that.
Good.
Whoopsie.
Okay, so where do we go on this calendar?
Well, I'll be damned. There we go. I thought it was the 29th. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it was offered on the 28th. It's happening. Like, you guys are having your meeting on the 29th. You
So
have
it
the
isn't.
you have the entirety of the 30th, and then even though it says the mission was completed on the 1st, it's happening on the 1st. I'm assuming you'll complete it.
You
So,
give us too much confidence.
God damn it. The legendary skip phrase, eh?
Like I said, I was doing some calculating there. If the team comes around 11:30, since we have to entertain them 10 hours, and they have to be at the hotel, motel, wherever they're staying at 9:30. So, like, allocating like 30 minutes or so to, setting everybody into groups and, getting to the first event, whatever that it may be. And others, because maybe not everybody goes for the shooting or something. Anyway, that probably takes like 2 to 3 hours. I don't know, but I assume at least 2.
It's
Up
pretty
3.
much. Time-wise, with that, we're gonna have enough time to get them situated, to get them to whatever the first event is, which at the moment is definitely planned to be the mock battles. Then we gotta spend like what, an hour and a half at least planned for the lunch.
Yeah, like I said in there, like if calculating with 1 hour used to,
Yeah.
lunch, dinner, whatever, then that would be around 4 o'clock when that feeding is done. If it takes 3 hours with the moving around and the first event and the eating, then there's like 2 to 3 hours to do something else before it's
We
I
take
would say
everyone back to the
appropriate to
Hammersmith
go
and
to
end the
the
night.
yeah. And that's like 2 hours in the bar. Depending how much the trip to their hotel, motel, whatever takes.
So I guess it would be then, because of the time, we won't have enough time to set up anything they may want to do, and again, we're gonna have to wait for the profiles to finalize those plans. It's best that we just put up
Profiles are sent.
Yeah, it's best that we put up the options for all of these and have those in the works, and then let them choose which group to go with, and then organize and reorganize ourselves to best fit that and handle those.
Out of character, I think it's time we take a quick break because fuck, that took me way too long. But I just want to say, when we get back, there's 2 major things I'd like to happen. So while you're on break, everybody go ahead. Why is there a YouTube link? Now I have to find out what this is. See, this is what happens when you send YouTube links. You just
I hope
everything
it's not
comes
loud.
everything comes to a screeching halt, and That is absolutely awful. I am deleting that if I can. All right. Sorry. So where was I? Right. We'll be taking a break. During that break, those of you who aren't like getting waters, beverages, or aren't doing something else, please check your email. I sent this as a spreadsheet. If you do not have Microsoft Office, this is Open Office. You can view it with free software that's available, or most email services actually have built into them the ability to view ODS files. So, 38 players, is that what's the matter?
Wait, no.
What?
I was just looking at the rows, and there's 38, and I didn't take into account the first one where there's, name, nickname, last name, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so 37 players,
Yeah.
but it's quite a few players that you'll be handling for this. So break time now. Look at the sheet when you have a chance. When we come back, we're going to have the second Mr. Johnson show up, give you the counter proposal, and then the other thing. Has anyone thought about the fact that the dossier they're getting is, just what James Barton is giving you? As in,
Of course.
So also, everyone, I want you to think of ways to get more information on the players that's probably going to be more helpful for deciding what to do with them. And anything else any of you want to do in character now that you have the sheets before the other Johnson arrives?
When you say arrives, are we physically meeting this person, or what's happening?
Well, you physically meted James Barton. You all started chatting, I assume, in the bar about how you want to handle this.
Okay, so this
and-
literally happens the day we meet Mark.
Like half an hour later at most.
Gotcha. Well,
As
probably
we're
not
sitting
that
around
half-
talking.
Sorry, what was that you had said, Desperado?
I said, in that case, no, nothing in 30 minutes that I think we'll want to do.
Okay, and Bob, what was that you had said?
I said, first was that's like he's pretty much walking in right after we're doing the minute while we're talking and going over these
The files,
player
yes.
files.
That's what's happening, yes. And then,
And she's just gonna.
and now Diablo, you had something you wanted to say?
Yes, Frax might suggest and maybe try himself to just go. Maybe we should subscribe to sports sites for information on these players, and maybe even some gossip sites for information on these players.
Okay, so before anyone can respond to Thrax, everyone can roll a perception roll. If you have scent-based augmentation, or if you're, say, a cat, you can also get bonus dice appropriate. So, Katya, I believe you get like +2 or +4 for being a cat when it comes to smell.
Enhanced senses, hearing, low light vision, and smell. But she also has a specialization in visual.
Oh, visual, not scent. Okay, so it's only +2 for your smell. Otherwise, it's just perception, reception enhancers, augmentation count, that sort of stuff. Oblivious, you can make the attempt, but your threshold's going to be higher, Cage. Whiskey and Pirate aren't here. Sybil's not here. So, Mike, you would be the only one, I think, who has experience with cigars, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Also, Deimos is there, so he might smell something.
Yeah, but the dogs aren't really going to be able to articulate that to you in the way that a human-esque nose might. So West End Mike, did you do your roll yet? No, you
Not
haven't.
yet.
Okay.
And audio and video enhancements do not help.
This is the smell that you're rolling for.
So no vision or hearing enhancement.
Again, no, it's just smell. And Kara, Bo wasn't really big on cigars. His drugs of choice were different. Well, not bad, Thrax. And Hunter, I just said it's only scent. Lasai. I don't think any of the photos of that guy. Does he have cigars? I don't know. Oh, good, Mike. All right. Also, roll a memory roll for me, Mike.
Does 3 hits for her scent do it?
Let's see what happens with Mike first.
I'd just like to say that Mr. Johnson too has an awesome portrait.
Yeah, his skin was originally green. It was a hell of a time making him actually human toned. Well, Kara, that is a non-canon picture of Professor Badass. Okay, I guess. All right, so Professor Badass smoked cigars. Still not really Bo's cup of tea. I mean, sure, he's smoked cigars, but it's not something he'd do excessively.
I can
Oh,
honestly
wow,
say,
West End Mike.
Wait a minute. Did that take into account? Did Chummer remember that I have augments to help that? Probably not. Just logic and will. There we go. So let's see here. Cyberware. Where's my flashback system? Which naturally I have to open the book to find out exactly what bonus that provides. Yes, my brain is actually augmented to help me remember things.
If you could just tell me where to look, I can.
Augmentation page 112.
112. Okay, I was way
I
off then.
I can honestly say I've never expected to see a mohawk.
Oh, this is
for a business
n-
situation.
nano cyber tech.
Yep.
Oh dear, you really are susceptible to CFD. Well, you better hope I don't accidentally bump you into one of the people who's infected.
Yes, I should. Thankfully,
All right.
that's also the only nanotech system I have.
Yes, but it's directly in your brain.
This is also true.
Yeah, that's like the worst place to have it. Is this a hard nano or a soft nano?
I think it's hard. As a matter of fact, since it interfaces with electronics, it would have to be.
All right, so the photographic memory quality. Go ahead and pull up page 80 of the Shadowrun, or no, actually, it won't be. It's like page 91, I think. No, 89. Check 89 for photographic memory, please.
Also, that's gonna be in trouble. A third of the team is hyper aggressive.
And one
Did
of
you
them,
expect otherwise?
and one of them is also labeled as both aggressive and psychotic.
Yeah.
Remember, that's Frosty's fault. And it really was page 92. My mistake. So character with photograph rarely forgets anything. Character can instantly recall faces, dates, numbers, or anything that is seen or heard, not smelt. Although smell really should be, because human memory is most closely tied to smell, I thought. So, it
is the strongest sense that people remember across the board.
yes, but photographic memory decreases the threshold by 1. But again, humans and smell, I think I'll say the threshold is decreased by 2. So your 0 is technically a 2, which is enough for you to kind of clue in that James Barton was smoking a cigar. His was a soygar. A good one, to be sure. I mean, it didn't have that terrible smell of burning soy. It did pretty well to mask that. But the new smell that that seems to be wafting into the room is that of a real cigar.
Oh well, and given that I was just with timeline-wise had just given Pirate a bunch of those, yeah, I probably would clue into that pretty quickly.
Out of character, you legitimately got her real cigars?
Yes,
They are. Yeah.
he splurged.
Oh shit! Okay,
They
you were
aren't Cubans
definitely
or anything fancy like that, but that I
Well,
I look for somebody who imports them from America.
What we did as far as game rules concerned, Mike has he's used up his entire entertainment budget for May to get you those cigars.
Okay, I thought that was just gonna be high quality soy cigars. You got some good stuff here then, so you definitely carried some favor with her. Thank you for telling me that now, so I know how to act like that in the roleplay.
And I'm assuming Frax also recognizes that cigar smell.
So Mike looks up and looks kind of in the direction
well,
it's coming from.
Thrax, you will smell it, and it smells pleasant to you, but I don't think Thrax has ever experienced real cigar smoke. He's never really been with upper crust, high society people.
Yeah, he might probably more recognize hashish smell and possibly various scented things, which might be smoked in water pipes, but yeah, cigars probably not.
Similar with Cage. Cage, this smells not awful to you, but then again, you consider your body a temple, so you might be a little bit, probably a little bit torn, because it's like, that smells like it should be bad, but it smells good in this weird kind of way. It's got a sweetness to it and a sort of light alcoholic flavoring, like it was dipped in sherry. All right.
Oh,
What?
that's some really high-end cigars then.
Yeah.
And Katya, with her 3,
She hasn't smelt anything quite like that, but I imagine living in Yakut, considering some of the tribal rituals, she would recognize it as the smell of burning herbs.
ooh, she sniffs the air and starts looking around.
So yes, the other gentleman will basically walk towards your table, and he'll make sure that he makes eye contact with each of you before taking a seat at your table. Does anyone try to stop him?
No, but this is the next day.
No, it isn't. It's like I said, it's less than a half hour later.
Okay, so we aren't on the 29th or on the 28th. Is that correct?
No. Okay. The 28th is when the job went to Khaled. She let you all know
Okay.
about it. You said, okay, we'll take the job. Meet the guy here tomorrow, the 29th.
Okay. Where am I compared to Ace?
Opposite, like basically, if this table is laid out, you're sitting next to Mike.
Okay. Using a leg, he's gonna touch Ace basically in the leg, and
Oh my! All right, so give Ace some way to know that you're not just playing footsie here.
okay, he's going to send him an AR message.
Okay, Ace, are you paying attention to AR right now?
I think I am at least not 100%. If something pops up, I will take a look.
Okay, so Bones, you're basically just saying, I'm going to cast a magic spell on you, and now you're mine?
Oh, you went there before I did.
As the guy,
So, Bones, we're still waiting for your answer?
My answer on what? The
What
thing that
what is the message you're sending to Ace?
the thing is message he's sending to A is this should help you speaking even better. Or something along the lines of that.
Looks like you need to cast it on yourself.
He didn't have time to really write anything, okay? And then correct me if I'm wrong, because I already have one spell sustained on West End Mike, this is -2 to roll it and -2 to resist drain.
Resisting drain is never affected. It's like a damage resistance test.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Pretty sure, not 100% sure on that. Actually,
Alright, that's fine.
a quick way to test this is I apply 2 stun damage to you. Yeah, so the dice pool for casting went down. The dice pool to resist drain didn't. Cool. But the other thing is you're not using your hand. You're casting this spell in an awkward, kind of obtuse way. So I'm going to have to apply another -2 on you here.
Okay, so that's a 7 so far. He's going to do.
And
It's really
she.
funny. Force 7. So, as many hits as he can get, he's going to give up to the meta type cap to Ace. 4. All right. Now to resist. 1 SR4. All right, so he's fine.
Yeah, well done, Bones. Ace, you suddenly feel a little bit energized as far as your,
Activity towards charismatic
yeah,
gestures.
yes, exactly. So
Is
even
this-
sorry,
Is this to the meta type cap? Is that what that means?
yes, he is at 9 now.
Okay.
Also, I want to point out of character. Remember, A speaks only in Russian and in Chinese.
Oh,
He might not be the best one to talk with English people here.
It's
Oh.
Mike.
We've already cast this on Mike. Mike's
Yeah.
already maxed out too.
I know,
yeah.
but
I-
I kept my mouth shut until you did your thing.
That's fair.
I didn't want meta game.
That's fair. I was going to get the spell translate, and then I realized that he already has 4 languages, so I was like, no, he'll never need translate. What a fool I am. I got influence though, but I don't think that would be a good idea to have someone like this.
In any event, we've now got Ace and Mike just oozing charisma.
Yeah. He's also going to give a look over to Cage, and he's probably going. They probably know the look of being like, I'm going to be a little tuckered out, because they've known each other for a while. So Cage knows that
Or no, perhaps Cage should roll Judge Intention with a +4 bonus for having spent time with you.
That's fair. So Cage, second roll. No, it's not the second roll. Never mind.
So your Judge Intention is usually, 10. Okay, you're pretty good at this. Adding 4 is 14 to Judge Bones. Oh yeah, no. You know what Bones just did.
Cage has found you innocent, Bones.
But yeah, Okami, you doing anything magical?
I have nothing magical here to do except unless you guys want me to try to compel him to the truth or analyze anything he says to see if it's truthful or not.
But as he approaches, he'll give a little bit of a queer look. So everyone can go ahead and do a judge intention roll.
Wow.
That's a real glitch. And that's a real critical glitch. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Frax finds you guilty! He pulls out his sword and lops this guy's head off.
Hey, don't take the chance there, Thrax, buddy.
Yeah, that was a
Thrax
joke.
just goes, "This is Hammersmith," and just kicks him into a pit that's suddenly there.
So my charisma is now at 9 because of the spell.
That is correct. Your charisma is up at 9 now.
Okay.
So either I really like this guy, or I really don't like this guy for some reason.
Okay, so Durandal, Katya, Bones. All you see is an orc fellow who is well dressed, well groomed, although he is sporting a business mohawk. Very trendy, very nouveau. They were popular in the 2050s as well, but his isn't neon blue, so his is a little more modern. Doesn't really look like he's out of the 2050s. And he seems to be the serious sort of man. He's not being too showy, but he's dressed well enough that he could be if he wanted to. Okami, your racism is going to go off.
Okay. I just really hate this guy.
Not hate. You look down upon him. He is an orc trying desperately to live outside his appropriate social position. He
Yes,
strikes.
especially with the mohawk.
Yes, he strikes you as a poser that he wishes he could be on your level, sort of thing.
So do I dislike this person more or less Graham dislikes Sybil?
Probably less than
Okay.
like this. This isn't. He's not a cat. If he were a cat, you'd hate him, but instead you feel pity and shame for his existence. Thrax, this guy looks like a fucking dragon in disguise to you.
Oh jeez, no.
El Diablo?
Yeah, alright, I'm just thinking. So, basically, the moment he gets close to the table and starts motioning to sit down, Frax kind of steps forward.
Well, you're seated, so you're standing up, you're saying?
Yeah, he stands up and steps towards him and kind of, a dragon in the sky, so it might be a little bit of fear. It would be essentially shoving up, but...
Why don't you go ahead and do a composure to see
Okay,
if
okay.
you're afraid or if you're brazen about this?
Uh-huh.
I do like how West End Mike and Ace got exactly the same number of hits, though. That's cool. Oh, Thrax, actually, this guy is probably going to be, like, cowing you a bit. In fact, the emotions you're feeling are going to cause both your dogs to be afraid of this guy. And because your dogs are now afraid of him, it's that pack mentality, is you're all just feeding off of one another's fear.
By the way, it's dark because Phobos is at home.
Oh, you did? Okay, you did not bring Phobos.
Yeah,
Okay.
if it's daytime, I'm not bringing Phobos because he like sunlight.
Okay. So yeah, Deimos is definitely afraid because Deimos is already a little bit of a coward.
Alright, then yeah, Frax basically has a, he basically stands with a watchful guard maneuver.
So everyone else is sitting at the table like, oh, this is the new person. Okami's like, ugh. And meanwhile, Thrax is like, "Oh my god!" Just jumps up from the table, like, "Gotta be careful."
Fact, you better not be marking your territory on that table.
Meanwhile, West End Mike and Ace, the quizzical look he just gave was directed to Bones as he was touching Ace. West End Mike, you don't know the context of that. Ace, you get suspicious about what this man may have just witnessed. Cage, you don't know anything about magic, but something tells you this man's a wizard.
He's a wizard.
Twister, you
Question.
wanted to... okay, Hunter?
I didn't notice anything with my 2, did I? But yeah.
I already described what everyone with twos got.
Yeah.
Hunter, you were saying?
Katya's dual-natured.
Oh, she's dual-natured. Well, in that case, doing a sensing roll.
And I'm guessing she doesn't get a bonus just because of nature.
He is currently astrally perceiving. He is indeed a magician.
He's going to tap Ace. He goes,
Oh, you're not really going to get the chance because he's going to reach over and offer to shake Ace's hand.
Well,
Well, you and
be
what were you
rude not
doing
to.
here?
he's going to keep him from doing it.
Excuse me. What was Frosty? What were you saying?
Well, it would be rude not to. After all, he seems quote unquote respectable. He's probably magical. And when somebody like that comes to offer you a handshake, you know, you don't want to immediately offend them, so shaking his hand.
Okay. Katya, we'll find out if you're. What I meant to say there is roll 2SR2, Cage. If you had got that. So I did the roll not realizing I can't do the roll. But Andre, 2SR2, please. Or 4. 2SR4. Fuck! Brain, work, damn it.
Brain says no.
Clearly.
I'm in charge now.
Okay, Brain, if you were in charge, we'd be working as a team.
No, you
no.
listen to your libido too much.
2 SR4. But, yeah, so Cage, you done fuck up your comm link and shut it off. Because you have gremlins, right? Yeah. So Cage is like, shit, what do I do? What do I do? Boo, power down. Fuck. Probably doesn't shout fuck, but yeah, Cage, you've done screwed up. Katya, what were you trying to do?
He's not trusting this guy. So she's going to try to keep Ace from shaking his hand.
How?
He's going to shake it first.
So Katya is going to do something incredibly rude. Ace, Bones, Mike, Okami, any response from any of you about the Catwoman leaping forward to shake the magician's hand? Oh yeah, you hate cats.
Yeah, I hate cats. I hate this person.
No, you don't hate him. You feel he is pathetic. He is below you. He's beneath you.
I know. It's just like,
Well,
At least
Yes.
it's good to know that I'm not a racist because it's really hard for me to betray a racist right now.
so, one immediate reaction comes to mind, probably out of, reaction. Use a commanding word to stop her.
Okay.
Although, I mean, like, technically that would be kinda appropriate. Because,
Just a sec. Bob, was that intention, like in character?
Yeah, that was in character.
And I guess you're using like carnivore gold to send that in what language?
I'm guessing to.
You're in England, so
It's probably preset to just English translation then.
okay. Katya, do you even have AR?
I do not believe that I do.
Yeah. So
Just a basic disposable common.
so your comm link goes bling, you have mail kind of thing, but Ace and Katya, you should both roll your initiative. Don't hit the initiative macro. Roll your initiative to decide who happens to reach Smythe first. Or well, actually, even before you roll, what is your number of initiative passes?
1.
one,
Okay, so yeah, you both have to roll.
Ouch.
Oh my god.
Not a real glitch.
Not a real glitch.
However, Katya wins because she has more initiative total. So Ace, even though you will probably try to say whatever you're going to try and say to tell Katya not to, she's already going to make contact with the guy's hand before you can finish your sentence.
okay.
The man seems a little bit discombobulated by Katya, but he'll give her a smile and a shake and say, "Pleasure to meet you. I am Mr. Johnson, and if I may, I have a counter proposal for you." And he'll look over the entire group, not just Katya, as he says that. Voin says, "Okay."
No, thank you.
So you were watching and eavesdropping?
Not myself personally, but I had someone here keeping an eye out for a matter of personal importance, yes.
Well, I suppose if it's important enough for you to have a person help you with it, it's important enough that we can at least hear you out.
I appreciate that.
You know, Mike would gesture to a chair.
Perfect. And he would take the seat, probably closer to you folks at your end.
Better make it quick, though.
Well, straight to the point, I suppose it shall have to be. I know that you just spoke with James Barton, a gentleman who doesn't know how to be discreet. And I would like to offer you the opportunity for 100,000 new yen to instead ensure that his team does not manage to remain in cohesion for tomorrow's game. For Saturday's game. Darrendale says, "Are you suggesting we kill him?" He'll look at her with a rather shocked expression and say, "Absolutely not, young lady. I merely wish for you to ensure that they don't manage to perform so well on the field."
As soon as he says that, what would I need to roll to quickly look up the current betting odds?
Data search. You'd know that official gambling is illegal pretty much right away. If you want to find out the illegal betting odds, you'd have to have a data haven or know somebody who could look that information up for you.
However, Mike knows this and was actually going to bring that up in a bit.
Yeah, because that's honestly the thing. It's like he's either the owner of another team or he's trying to make his odds a little bit easier.
Yeah, Mike definitely has this information already about the odds.
Mike will ask, if you'll forgive me for being so direct, why do you care?
I have deeply personal vested interest in Battle Ball, in particular this next game in particular.
I probably misspelt it.
Okami, you get flagged for police review.
Oh, come on!
You're searching for illegal gambling?
Especially when you type in illegal gambling.
I'm probably typing in gambling odds, not illegal.
No,
gambling.
you got a critical glitch. That is
Okay.
bad news.
Okay.
So, do you want to spend an edge to downgrade it to a regular glitch?
Yes, I'll spend an edge.
Okay. So you were
Not
already
the three.
down. No, you were already
2.
down 2. You're down to 1 now.
Okay.
You spent 2 edge in the little party session. But yes, so Okami, instead as just a regular glitch, you're basically going to get like the odds on previous Battle Ball matches, which doesn't really help you understand what. It's all Greek to you, basically.
Yeah, not really a sports person now, looking at odds and numbers and shit like that. It's just,
And you're a Mako or whatever they're called. You don't gamble. That's dirty.
Nico. Yeah, but yeah.
But sorry, so Mike, you were about to say, right, you asked about why he wants this. He said it's a personal matter. He has particular interest in the next match.
Mike would nod. It's an interesting offer, but what do you know about the man himself, Mr. Barton?
That he is a thug who's managed to position himself where he is by mainly intimidation. But a man like him, a good solid right hook to the jaw, and he'll be toothless. And sorry, and as the Mr. Johnson says this, like this whole time he's been very prim, very proper. But when he talks about taking that right hook to the man's jaw, he kind of, well, it would just go to fulfill Okami's stereotypical expectations of this man.
He emotes it.
Well, it doesn't just emote it. He loses his accent. He reverts to a more kind of Cockney sound. Like he sounds a bit like a thug as he does it, and he almost sounds like he loves the prospect of punching this man in the face.
We
I wonder if
punch
we just
him in
found
the
our
face
motive.
is good.
Sorry, was that in character, El Diablo?
No,
So then please don't interrupt if it's just a joke.
sorry.
What were you saying, Desperado?
Technically, mine was out of character, but it was, gee, I wonder if now we know what his motive is.
Well, that's something you could send as an AR message to the whole team.
It could be.
Cage, are you saying that out loud? So under his breath, Cage is saying, so you want us to cheat a group of players out of a semi-final win after their coach just died? Cage, you're saying that loud enough though for him to hear you, right? Probably. Okay. He will turn to you, Cage, and say, as unfortunate it was that Mr. Wallace passed away, and as galvanizing as it has been for the West Hammers, I'm confident that those members of the team who wish to fight for their opportunity to receive sins and retire out of the sport will have their opportunity in the future. I hope it doesn't sound too callous of me, but what's riding on their losing is perhaps more important. And then Durandal will say, so you were asking us to compromise one job as Shadowrunners for another? For 100,000 new yen, you are asking us to break a contract? And he'll look to Durandal and say, yes, I suppose that is precisely what I am asking of you. And Ace, you want to be the next one to speak?
Yeah. Ace would say in Russian that if we would be so callous and we would refuse. Not saying we are, but if we did.
If you refuse me, I am going to understand. What I ask of you is, frankly, something I wouldn't usually ask of anyone. But the situation is, well, the conversation we're having right now is merely because I do not believe James Barton to be an honest man. And as evidenced, no offense meant to any of you, by his willingness to work with criminal element on securing his victories, I feel that it would be a karmically balanced decision, and he'll turn and look specifically at you, Ace, as he says that, to instead pursue something like the job offer I'm giving you.
The coach who died, former player, right?
That is
Probably
correct.
an orc.
Indeed, he was.
If I look up a picture of him, does Mr. Johnson here bear any, say, familial resemblance?
You're going to have to do a data search on that.
Would Mona Lisa help?
We're just doing a data search for now for something else. Then you can try a Mona Lisa.
Huh, my toe's bleeding.
Fuck, okay. 4 hits. Do you want to edge that?
The tone of voice suggests that I am close enough that that would actually work out in my favor. So sure, let's see.
All right, you are now at 3 of 5 because you had also previously used one for the roleplay session.
Actually, I think that was negotiating with Barton was when I used it.
Oh, okay then.
But either way, yes. So that is 7 dice.
That would be indeed 7 more dice. Bravo. So at first blush, no, not related, not even the same color skin. But for whatever reason, you're like on Google image search, you just keep scrolling down just in case, there's something else. And then you spot it. This man sitting across from you, he was on the same team as Wallace years ago.
Mike's eyes probably noticeably to him. It's like, oh, okay. And what he would actually say is basically, so I suppose you think that the coach's death was about as likely as I do to have gone down the way the official story says.
No, the official story was accurate. It just missed crucial details.
If it missed crucial details, it's not accurate.
Oh, that's a interesting outlook. Not one that I typically see from, again, not meaning any offense, but someone in your professional position.
Well, if it's my professional opinion, position for it to not be accurate, I'm fine with that. But in any event, Barton has that. I'm not entirely opposed to this, but Barton has significant resources he could bring to bear on us, and I've worked with him before. He's the type of man who would do it simply because you made him angry. If we accept this, we're going to have to do it in a way that Barton doesn't know it's us.
Okay, so Thrax, you want to interrupt, then Ace, you want to say something right after. Thrax, what are your interrupt?
Yeah, Frax would be like, what does this matter? I mean, our job right now is just to make them happy, entertain, which is really the causes no trouble. But he wants to have us hurt people and do criminal things. That seems like it can just be much more trouble.
Okay, Ace, do you still want to be the next one to speak?
Well, yeah, I'll say something else about what I was intending, but so I will correct Crack that not necessarily hurt, but just make them play worse. That more onto the point we haven't decided yet, Crack.
And the Mr. Johnson will say, precisely. It's not a matter of wishing any specific harm to any of the players of the West Hammers, but rather that in their game on Saturday, that they do not succeed in winning the match. I'm sure that creative problem solvers can come up with some way to meet the contractual obligations of James Barton and also this particular objective. And then Ace, you want to speak again?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much Ace is going to say that, again, continuing Russian as all the time, that, well, do we have to make a decision right here, right now, or can we get a moment to...
I will allow you to make the decision right up to the last moment. As long as the West Hammers lose Saturday's game, I will pay you, even if you had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Out of character, that's... Something's off with that. That's too good to be true.
Out of character, he wants revenge, so he's he's throwing money at the problem because he's desperate.
It sounds fishy to me.
Well, that's not fishy at all.
Yeah.
Do you want to edge that?
No.
No? Okay.
No. That's...
Not much better.
What language is he speaking in?
This man is speaking very refined English.
Okay. Is it fine if I roll a judge intentions?
You may indeed roll judge intentions. Kara, you get the impression that he might be promising to pay you right now, but you don't really have anything on him. He's a Mr. Johnson. You don't know his name. You don't know anything about him. He could just evaporate. You've already got the impression that, maybe he could... Oh, wait. Has anyone revealed the fact that he's a magician?
Not out loud.
No. Okay.
Ace just has a suspicion.
Right.
And
So then...
it's not revealed out
So,
loud.
so in that case, then... I'm just going to stop Voin at that point. What I've said already is all she needs to know. And Bones, you're using an edge point.
Yep.
All right. That's your first one, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Katya, you're not really going to get any specific read on this situation. You don't know the man well enough. Cage, he seems sincere, but you don't know him well enough. Bones with a massive total of 5. Oh, you pre-edged. Okay, so it's not
Yeah.
that mass. Okay, but five.
Yeah.
5 is still good enough to tell. He seems genuine. He seems honest about this. That he's not eager about paying you all, but he is eager to encourage you all to do this job. And he doesn't give you the impression he's going to welch. But again, you've just met him. You don't know.
Can you describe what you mean by welch?
Is that not where like you promise something and then you don't do it?
Yeah, like Welch
I'm
on and
not
not
familiar
bet
with
or
it.
something like that.
Oh, a person who defaults in an obligation, especially a small one.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a noun, not a verb, from the sound of it.
Yeah, but I'm verbifying it.
Okay.
Yes, Thrax, you know the old saying, never make a deal with a dragon?
Yep, and that's pretty much his situation right now.
Oh, and Durandal will say, and how could we be sure you would be willing to pay us, that you wouldn't disappear into the shadows as well? I'm afraid I don't have anything at the moment, young lady, to give you a demonstration of my honorable intent. Do you have a proposal?
Oh, Kami's gonna speak up. How about you pay us some of that up front? Or at least it's more of a better incentive so we at least know you may be good for the rest of the amount. 100,000 is quite a bit to drop, unless all of a sudden.
So you're going to have to do negotiation, and since you jumped on this before anyone else could, no one's going to be able to give you a bonus.
Yeah. And that was pretty, like, that was kind of rude drop.
Well, she looks...
Yeah, she is rude. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And considering her view of him, she might not even think... I mean, out of character, I'm guessing this because I'm not 100% sure how to roleplay it. She may not even assume he's good for this amount, that this model just might be a costume. Yeah, of course it's only 5. They're not built to be a face, so let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I specifically gave us 2 powerful faces.
but but Twister, that's metagaming. Bobob's playing to character. Okami
right.
is a bitch.
One, Okami is a bitch, literally and figuratively now. And second of all, the way she views him, she views him as like all of this beneath her and all this other stuff, that he may not even have the money he's promising to give us no matter what, as long as they fail.
Durandal will say a verified contact. We were contacted through this job by Cattlefish. Would you be willing to confirm yourself with her?
Bitch is just a female dog, not necessarily a pregnant one.
So Voin name dropped Cattlefish. I don't know how to fucking pronounce that. I can't wait till we're out of London and she changes her name again. Fuck.
You can force the
Fitch.
I really like that video Kara found on YouTube of how to pronounce that. But he will take a moment and he'll say, I must say I honestly do not know who this Cattlefish is, and if and you see him actually, he stops and he looks up at the ceiling. Anyone who can read body language, he's looking in the way when somebody tries to remember versus when somebody tries to make up a lie. So if you know how to read facial expressions, you'd realize. He's like, is that not the name of a sacred blade? And Durandal says it is. Desperado, are you actually typing something?
Yes.
Oh, you're face palming. Yes, so would West End Mike, Bones, or Ace like to step up to, get the less appropriate people to stop talking?
Mike will just put his finger up after that. Tinhoof, may we speak in private?
So who are you asking to speak in private to?
Tinhoof.
So you said
so
that
you
out
actually-
loud?
I specifically use that for a reason, to get his attention.
He doesn't make eye contact with you, but you suddenly hear a voice inside your head. Katya, the man before you, the orc, he casts a spell. You can roll a sensing to see if you can determine which one it is. Out of character, he's sending a mind link message to Mike.
Just telepathy then. Okay.
Yeah, basically it's a telepathy spell. And Katya, you get that impression. You can't intercept it. You are a magician though, right? What's your counter spelling? Do you want to try to prevent him from casting this spell on Mike? Hunter, are you there?
She's not going to try to counterspell it, but she's going to say whatever you're saying. You can, to Mike, you can say out loud.
So Katya's saying that out loud to the whole table. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he doesn't seem to respond.
Technically go through before.
Sorry, what was that?
Doesn't the message go through before? She can.
Yeah. So I'm getting to that. But still, Katya is saying that out loud, so everyone at the table will hear her say that. Even though at the moment he still hasn't made eye contact with Mike. He's still looking at Durandal with a rather surprised expression. And Mike, inside your voice, you will hear him say, "I would appreciate it if that name doesn't get spoken again, please." And then he'll kind of turn to look over the rest of the party. Say, "Sorry, what was that?" And he's not a very good liar. He's feigning that he didn't catch either what Mike or Katya just said because he was so distracted by Durandal. Durandal says, "It is a sword. Would you be willing to talk to her?" And he'll look through, and this time he genuinely is like baffled as he looks to her. It says, "You have a magical talking sword." Ace, you can say, "Save us from this conversation, Ace."
What she means is that Colored Fish is a name for our contact. That is, well, used to making these sort of verification or offers.
So he doesn't say anything, but he does kind of put his head down a bit and puts his hand up to his forehead. And it's a combination between awkward realization, embarrassment, and, okay, I'm not going to talk to the girl anymore. She's a fucking idiot. But he doesn't say that out loud. He does not say that out loud. If Kara, if you want, you can roll Judge Intention to try and get that impression off of him. Yeah, you have no idea. Meanwhile, Mike and Ace, if you want to roll Judge Intention, you'll probably be able to pick up on that subtle nuance.
I'm gonna roll as well just because I'm constantly judging him, I'm guessing.
That's fair. You are being very judgy. Okami, as far as you can tell, he's just flabbergasted and embarrassed.
Like he should be for talking to his betters.
Mike, you pick up on the embarrassment and everything, and that he doesn't want to talk to Daya anymore. And Ace, you get the impression he's really unimpressed with Voin.
Only
yeah,
if he knew where her powers lie. It
Yes,
is
but
not in a social conversation.
he's shifting his body so that he's more focused on Mike, Bones, Cage, Thrax, and Ace. You five are the ones he's now kind of just getting his body focused towards. Thrax, you want the floor?
Yes, Thrax says, can we... I thought we were going to do this quick. Now we're talking about Karen fish or something. This is not quick.
I agree. Thank you. Mike, I imagine since you just got talked to in your brain, how are you going to respond?
Well, I wanted to say this privately, but
Or are you saying this in character?
yep,
Okay.
I believe I can convince some of my more recalcitrant comrades here to go with your plan. My only concern is that with the amount of, quite frankly, money and connections Mr. Barton has, if he catches us, we're going to be in quite a bit of trouble. That kind of risk, I do believe, comes with a little bit more than 100,000 new yen price tag.
Hazard pay. Okay, so you want to roll your negotiation, yes?
That would probably be a good idea.
I don't know if I was muted for that or not, but what was the last thing you all heard me say?
That it would Mike would like to roll his negotiation.
Okay, good. Right.
Yes, that would probably be a good idea, and take it away from all these people with single-digit dice pools. Do I get any bonus from my empathy software at this point?
Roll the empathy software separately first to determine how well it's getting a read on this man. You will get 3 dice.
All right. So that's -3, but also +5 for a net +2.
Okay. I'm not going to bother rolling for him, but we'll say that you've got at least 4 successes over him, which is a critical success, basically. To which you will sigh and say, regrettably, I have already ensured that the monetary value has been set aside in an appropriate account so that it will not be back traceable to any particular individual. And it would take far too long, I feel, to get any more into that account. And I imagine all of you would want the payment sooner rather than later. As such, as an alternative means of payment, I may be able to arrange for certain artifacts to be misplaced, and some individuals such as yourselves might find them very easily and quickly.
BT, out of character. You son of a bitch.
Out of character what?
You're splitting the team apart. Like, enticing the others with cyberware and others with magical.
Yes. Yes, I am. One
a
offers
bastard.
cyberware, the other one offers magic.
Well,
You're
let's
a
face
bastard.
it, from what I hear, most of this group isn't really interested in the cyberware anyway. So,
Yeah, so this honestly this magical way was way more of use for me.
Okay,
Sorry.
so-
Sorry, I'm going to point out we can complete both missions. If
out of
we had-
so that's out of character though, right?
yes,
Yes.
But,
Okay. So
that's
before we get
exactly
into before we get into the out of character discussion, Ace, you had something that you're sending.
Yes. Ace would have sent Thrax a AR message after his little outburst with wasting time. That we're trying to work this with tact, and that does take some time. We don't want to anger him because that could spell 100,000 New Yen worth of troubles to us.
And El Diablo, what does Thrax eventually type back as a reply?
Yes, because as important note here, Frax looks at his comm when he gets an alert, which also takes a little wit, and then takes quite a bit of time to kind of type back a reply. And from those watching Frax work on his comm, it is clear that he is not very adept at handling the machine. But eventually he types back pretty much like I don't. We should not try to play this man. He is dangerous. He's bad news. We should not trust him.
But hey, at least Thrax will be distracted for a good long while the grown-ups talk.
That is very true. Yes.
Also, Ace will send another AR message as soon as he gets Thrax's answer, that saying that while we're talking to him and trying to keep him happy, that doesn't mean we're accepting. We're trying to at least make it so that he doesn't use that reward to undermine us instead.
But Mike would reply, I believe, I think that could be an agreeable arrangement. Like I said, I may need a little bit of time to convince my companions, but I think we can make that work. And he'd probably glance over to see what the expressions on everybody else's face are.
Is anyone going to openly object, bearing in mind that Thrax is distracted right now?
Not really.
Okay, then the silence has it, I suppose. And the man will say, "Thank you very much. I apologize for taking up so much of your time, but I'm glad we could have this discussion." And he will rise to his feet. He will extend a hand to shake with Mike.
And Mike will stand up and shake his hand.
Okay. And he says, "And as I promised, regardless of what actions you do or do not take, if they lose that match, that money will find its way to you."
Mike nods and says, "We'll see what we can do."
Okay, so it's getting a bit late, but let's have a little quick in-character discussion about which jobs you do or do not want to take in this.
Okay.
I'm assuming, out of character, assuming that Cage's reluctance is due to he doesn't want to break a contract, so to speak, or backstab an employer.
Might also have something to do with the players not, wanting to betray the players' trust.
Well, here's the thing. Once we were in a reasonably private setting, I would explain this isn't about money for this guy. Quite frankly, that cigar he was smoking tells me that he's, got more. He just can't get to it in a hurry. I did some research on the, and he'll use air quotes, tragic death of their coach, and the official story does not add up. There is no way that a situation that simple would have killed a former battle ball player like that. He is doing this because he is an old friend of said player, and quite frankly wants to get back at Barton, who...
Oh, Thrax is interrupting.
Frax will go, "I do not see why this whole thing with the coach is important to us. We just have to entertain the players."
Well, again, if you're looking at it from that perspective, because he just offered us a lot of money to do more than just entertain the players.
He offered us a way better offer.
But and if we do it with a sufficiently light touch, we could still end up getting paid by Barton too.
Durandal says, I agree.
And like I was going to say, I believe that probably Barton, and I have no doubt that he does as well, that Barton probably had a hand in whatever actually killed the coach.
Ace, you want to take next stab?
Yep. Ace would say that his honor basically would not allow him to take this job unless we can actually find something concrete that he actually deserves this revenge. Then probably.
So Ace wants to make sure that this is morally justified.
Mm-hmm. He's not willing to, quote unquote, sell his reputation for just money.
I have no idea how difficult that may or may not be, but
well, you already got 8 hits on the data search for this guy's face. You know his Battle Ball name when he was a player. You take a look, find out that he got out of Battle Ball and then disappeared. The old Tin Hoof, no one knows whatever happened to old Tin Hoof.
hence the reaction to the name.
Yeah. All right, Okami, you want to say something?
It's just like, we have a couple of days before we do it on this. We needed to get more research going on this. We need to know more about the relationship between those two people, the two Johnsons. We need to know what's going on with the guy who offered us the orc that offered us 1,000 gold sorry, 1,000, 100,000 and magical artifacts. And we have to know and we have to take this into account, that if we decide not to take his offer, he may have put this offer up to other people, knowing that we may not betray the original contract. So this made just doing the normal job that much harder.
Well, the way he...
Oh, hold on. Thrax also wants next token. Thrax?
Yes, but if he has, like, beef with this Spartan fellow, why doesn't he just go fight this Spartan fellow? He does weird sneaky trickery that makes him tricky. You should not trust that.
Assuming I'm correct, Barton arranged for the coach's death to get his players to play better, to get them to want to win the semifinals and the finals. Think of it as repayment in kind.
Cage will say, I do feel bad about backstabbing the players, but their boss is a prick, and I'm not short on... Oh, and I'm short on money. So if we can do this without killing any of the players, I'm willing to do both jobs.
Okay. Does anyone
I
remember
will draw a line. Oh.
Go ahead, Frosty.
Ace would say that I will definitely draw a line way before murder.
Well, to be fair, that would also, that would definitely get Barton upset with us. And as I mentioned, I've worked for him before. He's honest enough, or at least his money spends, but I wouldn't want to see what would happen if you screwed him over.
Durandal very foolishly says, the easiest way to ensure they are not fit for the game would be to critically damage their limbs.
Yes,
Yeah, but that doesn't give us
very noticeable.
And
we would be accountable for that.
And he did mention that emergency augmentation surgeries are a thing that has happened before. He doesn't want them to happen, but so that's not exactly a guarantee even then.
I want to be clear on this. His exact wording
Who's
of
he
the
first?
contract.
Are you talking Barton or the quote-unquote Johnson?
Barton, the first guy. The exact wording on his contract was, we just have to show up with the players, and the players have to be fit to take the field, correct?
And we show them a good time, and we get them back by 9:30. Yeah, pretty much.
So Durandal will say, then we should resort to either chemical or psychological warfare.
Yes, those would be much smarter.
Alcohol and the like.
Also,
problem
I
is
think
it
this
can't-
conversation should be, had elsewhere.
Pretty sure we're doing this over.
I think Mike led you all to one of the private rooms.
Oh
is
yeah, I
what-
explicitly said that
yeah.
I would not be just announcing this to the world. It would be done in a private setting, whether that's
we probably
over
go back to-
AR or in one of the nice private rooms they have here.
Considering
You
how
probably go back-
bad 3 members of the team are with computers, yeah, let's do this in a private room.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess we probably go back to the same private room we used last time.
I don't know. Is anyone here uncomfortable with torture equipment? I mean, not using the torture equipment, being in the same room as torture equipment. I mean, the whole point of torture equipment is
Gotcha.
to be uncomfortable.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a good point. So perhaps a different private room.
Yeah.
One with the same security measures, hopefully.
Durandal will say, if you will not allow for wounding their bodies, perhaps we could wound their pride. Out of character, Twister, you haven't said anything in a while. Do you need to get to bed?
No, I'm just listening there at the moment. Although
Okay.
that last comment, I made a comment out of character regarding that, and I guess it would be a good time for me to, in character, say something like it. So Bones turns over to Durandal and taps on the table and says, instead of damaging their pride, what about damaging their teamwork,
Cohesion?
cohesion?
I
If they don't-
have little doubt that a bunch of augmented aggressive battle ballers would be difficult to turn against each other.
Durandal says we could do both.
How would you intend to damage their pride?
They could get beat by a
And-
girl.
I mean,
Bones doesn't yet know what Voin is. Bones hasn't sensed her.
Yeah,
Technically, neither does Weston Mike, so that was
Boing
out of
could-
character.
Or you could probably take the biggest person in that battle ball team, lift them up. above their head, and
No.
pull them in half.
Okay, you people, Void is not that, oh my god, overpowered. She's actually been lagging behind recently because Kara hasn't played her that much. So she needs to step up her game. Cage says in character, make them want to tear out each other's throats.
Yep.
now I don't know if we need to go that far.
I think the simplest solution might be to, if we have the proof, inform them that the person who promised to take them out for a good time is also the one who arranged their coach's death.
Then they kill us.
No, I mean, the point is that, Ace wants some proof. If we find that proof and we are able to present it to them, well,
It might
they won't be killing
demoralize
us. They
them.
might kill Barton.
It might demoralize them for the game.
Thrax wants to say the next thing.
I would respect all this. Your tactics are cunning and smart, and I would respect these things if they were done on our enemies. But these players are not our enemies, so I feel all this trickery, it is wrong. It is not right.
Well, there is one other thing I would like
Oh,
to mention
sorry-
before
sorry.
Ace.
Oh, okay. Before Ace, are you okay with that, Frosty?
Oh, definitely.
Just so I get it out before I forget. There is one other thing. I happen to know that right now, most bookies' odds are heavily in favor of the West Hammers. Anybody with 1,000 new yen to spare and placing a long shot bet could walk away with some additional jingle jangle in their pocket.
The East-West Men, I believe, is the name of the other team.
Yes,
Their
but
odds are, well, some bookies are offering even as much as 10 to 1.
That's a big payday.
They're really not expected to win.
it's almost as though somebody would have to sabotage the West Hammers. But anyway, and then Ace, go ahead.
Before we commit to the sabotage in the first place, I still suggest we look into the justification of all this.
I have no specific problem with that. I'm not sure exactly where we'd start.
I'll look into the death of the former coach. Foster
Also,
Outway.
if I am allowed to make a composure roll for Frax, because, well, OCD, basically all the arguments he's making, that's mostly just, not lying, but basically making excuses for the core reason why he doesn't want to do this, which is that he is afraid, kind of well, Johnson too.
Shouldn't you also be afraid of failing him then?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, he kind of just wants to have nothing to do with him. That's kind of
Yeah, that's true. It's fair.
like he thinks the safest thing here is not to have nothing to do with him. And then the rest of the team can kind of maybe make a judge intention to kind of figure out what Thrax's real reasoning is in this thing.
Does anyone want to judge Thrax? Get judgy.
Oh
Wow,
boy, here
that's-
I go again.
I'm looking at the little blurb at the top saying who's typing, and it's just like. Brrr.
Apparently we were judgmental people.
Wow, Ace, you're sitting right next to him. It's like I can smell your fear, bitch.
And that might all give you hints on how to get Thrax to go along with all your planning.
Bones is like the only one who can't even. Okay,
And-
Katja and Bones.
But she has an excuse. She only has 6 dice.
Yeah, what's Okami's excuse?
Yep, but still, Ace, West End Mike, Cage. You're all getting the impression of what Thrax is hiding.
His body
Oh, come
language
on,
is
you're
like
not a-
shooting some
Um,
beer.
So, out of character here, Ace, what does Thrax's fear smell like?
people might be able to
Like
answer
sweat.
that too.
Oh, come on. You're not afraid of a few battle ballers, are you, Thrax?
Would that be a personal slight against you, Thrax?
Yes, Western Mike is
Ooh.
handling this the wrong way. So another composure check.
Remember, Mike's only been on the one mission with you. He doesn't really know you that well yet.
So Cage is saying out loud, I do suspect him to be a wizard. Are you scared of a wizard?
I'm saying wizards are people like him are deceptive, unpredictable. There's hidden powers and all that. I don't want to deal with.
You and Hagrid would get along very well with your mutual disliking of evil sorcerers.
I'm just thinking behind Thrax. Yeah, unpredictable. Yep.
But
Okay.
anyway.
Do we want to do anything else tonight, or at this moment are we essentially wrapped up and we'll get into the meat of the mission next week? We're all here. We're good.
Let's see.
And then Com Bravo's the 27th, 28th, and 29th. So, yeah.
Here.
Well, I would
So-
like to maybe manage to get Thrax either to A, be convinced to go along with that, or B, bow out of the mission if you can't convince him.
All right. Well, as a player, do you want us to be able to convince him?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so out of character, what would it take?
Basically, what I think of, like, you have to kind of overcome Thrax's fear for him. So I looked at the composure roll I made earlier when first dealing with this fellow.
The one hit, yep.
Yeah, and I made 6 fails on my total dice pool. So I figure, like, as a group, you have to basically do a convincing roll or
So
such.
leadership
Yeah.
for morale.
Yeah, but I figure
Alright.
you can do that as a group because, peer pressure and everything.
Exactly. So Ace,
Also-
why don't you go ahead and roll your leadership? Every 2 hits you get will add an extra die to West End Mike's leadership. Or is West End Mike now lower? What are your leaderships right now, the two of you?
I would have to ask with or without software.
I think at this point your software's got a pretty good read on Thrax. He
All right,
doesn't
then.
exactly hide his emotions very well.
I have a 26.
26. So Ace, I don't think you can beat that right now, can you?
Out of curiosity, could I use increased attribute will to help him with his morale roll?
Would
But
you know to use it?
yeah, would Okami want to dirty herself on a hobgoblin
And what was the
leadership?
Well, the thing is, though, she's gonna know she's gonna be dealing with a bunch of hooligans anyways, and might as well be good to have a hooligan in her pocket.
Yeah, I can only get to 17, but I
Okay,
can,
so go ahead, roll your 17, and what?
I believe one of my adept powers is actually useful here. For once. Because it's actually meant for
And
the,
what's that?
If I remember it being correct, it's the confidence man. Being able to make their marks believe in anything. It may affect one friendly target per use, supplying them with increased effectiveness. Increases their confidence. Using these powers requires full action, allows the adept a charisma plus leadership roll with a threshold equal to the threshold of the test they wish to help with. If the test is successful, the target ally may improve their position. Blah, blah, blah.
No, I think that's more for giving them a bonus to physical tasks or mental ones by boosting their confidence.
Yeah, in this case, you've got better odds by just rolling your leadership and giving every 2 dice hit as a bonus die for Mike, because if we do the rules as written for this, it's you're only giving him 1 extra hit, basically.
Yeah. Out of character. They, goddamn, what's it called?
You and I should sit down and reevaluate that power. For the cost of
Yeah.
1 whole power point, it should do more than that. So we can talk about that sometime. But in the meantime, without having to rewrite the rule, please give us your 17. There we go. Oh, ouch. Did you want to edge that?
Yeah, I might as
Okay.
well. I mean,
So first
at least
edge
be
used.
one.
14 SR4.
Oh.
Much better. Okay.
Would my
so
reason for using increased attribute willpower work, though?
it's too late. Thrax already failed his willpower. It's too late. He failed. He's a coward. Now what we're trying to do is work him through his cowardness. So West End
I meant
Mike,
for-
you've got a +5. What was that, a Bob?
Nothing, never mind.
No, what?
Are you asking if you could increase his will to stop them from convincing him otherwise?
I was asking to convince his thing so he could rally himself. You know, like when people start talking him up, he can go like, "Yeah, I can do this."
Why? But Okami
He's excited, right?
Okami failed to realize that Thrax was going through this. Her judge intentions was 2.
Yeah, okay. It was not explained that way earlier. Sorry.
And also, Bobo, you went kind of like around the thing with your explanation. Like,
I said that you think like, well, we're about to deal with a bunch of hooligans. It might be good to make sure that she has her own hooligan to deal with them.
Then you should probably do that in a way that makes sense for Okami's present knowledge of the situation. But at the moment, West End Mike can deliver a really rousing speech that could convince just about anyone in this room to go ahead with this job. Because, damn.
Anybody who overhears out in the bar wants to join in.
Except you're in a soundproof room. So, I don't know. Mike walks up to the door and opens it and just, hey, everybody. And this. Oh, sorry, go
Mike
ahead.
just pulled a Rockaboy feat from freaking Cyberpunk 2020. Just like he just starts talking and people gather and to listen.
But yeah, does anyone here want to contend against Mike that this is still not the best course of action? To go ahead and make sure those players have a good time, but we also go ahead and at the end of the night, we reveal to those players that James Barton is a horrible human being and he has manipulated them to, you know, try and make himself more rich. And he is responsible for Coach Wallace's murder.
well, I think we need to.
Oh, let me actually.
think.
Oh, sorry, I just want to confirm. Is that what West End Mike would basically be doing?
I don't know about the part about revealing Barton as a horrible person, but yeah, basically more that Barton is a horrible person, and thus we should do it.
Okay, and
This is justified. This is justice where regular justice cannot be delivered.
And on top of that, you have nothing to fear from from Mr. Johnson. I almost revealed his real name. Whoops. You have nothing to fear from Mr. Johnson number 2. In fact, he is probably the good guy in all of this. And in fact, you know, even if you failed him, he would forgive you. He's that kind of man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and Ace, you wanted to say something?
Not anymore because he kind of corrected the what I was going to say. But yeah, I still, even though Ace might be wavering at this point after this arousing speech, I still think that we should at least try to look.
Oh, Mike has no arguments with that. If we can find evidence that you know, hard
Yeah.
evidence that this was Barton's doing, oh, that's great.
Well, that's just it. You get the evidence that Barton's responsible, you reveal it to the players. It's simple math.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
well,
if we can do it.
That still needs a little bit of a planning. Because,
You reveal it in the right context, you know, face stuff.
yeah, hopefully. Otherwise, we will be the next punching bags and tackle targets on the field.
Find out who to reveal it to specifically, rather. Don't
Yeah,
tell
that-
it to the whole team. Tell it to the linchpin that will pull everything apart.
You know, the trustworthy one.
You mean like the serious and studious team captain?
Or maybe you go the opposite direction and you tell the psychotic.
Well, that too.
Why not tell Mungo? Because he's the team's morale and the team mascot. They believe Mungo.
Yeah, there's a few different ways we could go at this, but
Mungo's not the mascot. O'Donnell is. Duncan O'Donnell.
yeah.
I don't think they'd take him seriously, even if he could articulate what you tell him. But anything else from anybody? Is everybody good? Everybody's...
I think that's good for tonight.
I'm good.
Yeah, Frax is
Although-
convinced and has high regard for Mike.
Sorry, Twister, what was that?
Bones is happy enough that we do that, but the question is, what's the point of giving them the good night and then telling them that this is the case?
So you get paid by James Barton as well.
Okay, unless
And
they
so that
immediately
he
go and kill
doesn't
him,
send
and then
Hitman
what that
after us.
means is that he's not going to pay us because he's dead.
How would they kill him? They're angry at him. He's got a sin. None of them do. They might want to kill him. How are they actually going to come after him?
They could walk over to his place and then
No, they couldn't.
What?
They take one step into the place where he lives, they get shot by a police drone.
Okay, well then
They are all
use a
sinless. Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. So they've never seen him in person.
Oh, no, sure they've seen him in person,
okay.
but he's got bodyguards with him. He's also cybered up himself. He's probably got fail-safes in all of his players.
And
Probably
if they...
open about him having those fail safes.
And
And-
if nothing else, they may hate him. They may not hate him enough to, go to jail.
Yeah, exactly, because if they kill him, they probably get the cops after them. And, yeah.
No probably about it.
Kara, you're always needed. You're a part of the team.
All right. Well, I just voiced my concern as well. That's it.
All right. I
We
guess
can
that's it then.
Talk about this in detail
And we could
during the
even...
week.
A slight OC idea. We could even try and have, make bets for the players on the losing match, as well, so they might
Yes,
make a bit of it as well.
Yes. So I believe that's everything. If we want to discuss further, we should go ahead and do in BBM. But for now, I'll wish you all a very pleasant night and thank you for the game.
Bye.
Likewise.
User